As you guys are aware, we are in the part 2 discussion. Yeah, I did it again. But let's be honest, if this part of the video podcast was included with the last one, would have been here a while. Would have been here for way too damn long, and we would be out of breath. Let's be real. So we decided to do part 1 and a part 2 video. So that's what we're doing right now. And we are here to talk about, as you know, part 2. And obviously the rest of Naruto, seeing where it is today. So let us talk about the story, more so favorite arc and least favorite arc. And for me, it's pretty obvious, because I talk about it with these guys all the time, but Pain arc for me, no, well, I'll even go as far as say it's not also my favorite arc in Naruto. I think it was the peak. I really do believe that we see where Naruto has come from the ending of part 1, going into part 2, seeing what his character's like. Yeah, there's still some things with Naruto's character, per se, that you kind of wish was a little bit toned down, but for the most part, his journey, again, coming off from the ending of part 1, going into part 2, seeing where he's been going, seeing all the dark struggles he goes through, leading into the Pain arc. He lost his father figure, Jiraiya, and he feels the whole weight of revenge. Something, Sasuke's been carrying since the beginning of the series. So he gets to understand what that feels like. And in that moment, he basically told himself, you know what, I have my beliefs about, believing in the good of mankind, but second Pain kick, he was like, no, fuck that shit. That's not flying with me. After everything that happened, what happened to the village, and just the terrain that it was able to get to me, yeah, you had Orochimaru do the same thing in the Konoha invasion, but Pain took it to another level. People actually died. Now, yeah, you had the whole Dragon Ball effect, but there's that. And not to mention, yeah, there were some fights I wish we kind of got to see. Like, I kind of wish Sakura got a fight. That's one of the few things I want to mention. Some of the other side characters too. Like, it would have been nice seeing some of the side characters take out a couple of the other Pains, but those are just kind of like my minor complaints with the arc. The other thing I would say is, like, does the whole revival thing of the Pain arc take away from the impact it would have had? Yeah, it does. Even with that, I still think it was a phenomenal arc. And also, Naruto finally got to achieve what he's been wanting since the beginning of the series. He finally got the acknowledgement. The end of the Pain arc, he deals with Nagato and tells him about, not the darkness per se, but talking about, like, the peace in the world and how he wanted to do whatever it took to achieve it. Yeah, it was a little, everlasting peace is something that's going to be really tough to handle, even in fiction, but...
I think Kishimoto even said he kind of struggled with that, let's say, himself, because I think comic book resources revealed a bit of information on it. Do you want me to link it to you, or...?
No, but that is a good point that we can bring up. So, I know Kishi had a struggle with that, per se, so... A little slack, sure, but it is still something he could have definitely fixed. But again, given what Naruto went through, yeah, he had the whole vengeance thing in mind. But then he kind of realized, wait a minute, no, there's another way I can go about this. And is it kind of cheesy? Yeah, but I think it works within the context that it was taken to in that arc. And then again, he was being acknowledged. The girl of his dreams, hugged him. Yeah, that's a bit of Narasaku biased on my end, but come on.
Well, to be fair, you had all the little children around them blushing as well.
That too, yeah. So that's another thing.
I think even Kakashi was blushing.
Kakashi was like, "Oh my," got that look. That's the look he had. Oh my.
No, and
but does that?
Oh no, but I was gonna say, even when you look at some of the other characters, even Hinata too, she's not there all jealous. She's like, Yeah,
I'm gonna murder her. That's what she's thinking.
she has the smile. She has that smile, like, hey, cool.
I think
I also noticed that in the anime they erased the blushing and they just changed it to dirt. It's like, what the? Oh, Studio Parrot, you are showing your bias there. There we go.
Well, it was kind of comical how they add more lines to the other characters. All right, Naruto, yeah, that's the youth right there. All right, Naruto, you did it. Oh my god, I could fall in love with him, huh? You know.
Oh yeah, that show was like, huh?
What? Are you trying to tease Naruto fans to think that they could actually have a chance?
I think no. It was just to pull their leg, but it was. I'll look at it. It was definitely funny, but I also do like how it kind of ends with like Iruka like saying like Lord Third, Lord Fourth. There's a hero among us, and that's kind of how that arc ends. And I'm like, it's great.
You know, in many ways, the way they did it in the anime, you could have had that as like the final of Naruto.
You could, but I mean, again, not to regurgitate what I said, but it's true. Like, it's not only my favorite arc in the series, but I also do believe wholeheartedly, be it part 1 or part 2, it was the peak of Naruto. So, what about you guys? When it comes to favorite arc in part 2?
Do you want me to go first or want someone else to go first?
Well, since you volunteered.
Okay. Well, I have 2 particular arcs I can choose as my favorite. The first is, let's see, the first one I would choose is like the first arc in the part 2, which is the Kazekage Rescue Arc, or Kazekage Arc, depending on how you do it. You know, the introduction where you, have Naruto attending to the village, meeting, Sakura and Kakashi, seeing how much each other have grown, see the difference they have with them stuff, and what's similar. Particularly, at first Sakura is you notice Sakura is starting to get a little bit flirty with Naruto about how grown up they both is, but Naruto being the dense, but also in his own romantic way, saying, "Don't worry, you haven't changed much at all," because in Naruto's eyes, Sakura is just perfect as she's always been, or as beautiful as she's always been, but he does not realize that Sakura may be flirting with him at this moment, so he got the wrong message and ended up angering things. And when which Jiraiya points out, when Konohamaru like does the sexy no jutsu, at first you think like, Naruto, I'm done with that stuff, and you see Sakura kind of start to get really impressed, and then he just spurts out about this brand new sexy jutsu he's got, and then she just ends up punching him in perhaps the most violent way we've actually ever seen her do. This is the only time I think when it actually is gone a bit violent, because she's just so mad, like, oh my god, I had all these feelings of admiration for you, and you do something like this? You never changed at all, you bastard! And it's like, and Tsunade and Jiraiya just commenting how they're just pretty much, they've both just raised like a second version of themselves. Naruto and Sakura work together, showing off their new skills slightly a bit, mainly more Sakura with her incredible strength. With Naruto, I think it's a bit more of tactical moves and all that stuff. Granted, it's kind of cut short in the manga, but in the anime, they've expanded it much better, which I actually do kind of like the fact, because then it makes it last as a much long, proper fight. And it's also, sadly, the only time you actually see Naruto and Sakura just by themselves team up against an opponent. Naruto reveals a bit of a more clever side as he figures out Kakashi's weakness is the new Ichi Raku book that he gave Kakashi as a present, as he tries to spoil it, making Kakashi trying to cover, his eyes and his ears, ended up losing against the bell test. He also ends up during his return to Konoha, he encounters Iruka again, and Shikamaru and Tamari, which it's had some quite fun dialogue with Naruto teasing, hey, are you two a couple? And him learning that everyone in the class has become a tuning with like Neji, Neji, Tamari, and Kankuro becoming Jonin, and he's wondering what happens to Gaara, and you find out that he has become Kazekage, and this is where it kind of cuts to where we're finally introduced to new members of the Akatsuki, two which I believe have become among favorites among the fandom. Let's see, the artist duo Dedera and Sasori, who go and attack the Ritzy village and capture Gaara.
I wouldn't say that Sasori is necessarily an artist, but go on.
And let's see what. Well, okay, but I think that's what people refer to them as. But yeah, because he refers to his puppets as art and stuff, and the way he makes them as art. But yeah,
I guess.
But I think that's why people call them the artist duo, at least among the Akatsuki. But yeah, and let's see, you find out how powerful they are when we have Dedra managing to beat Gaara. Kankuro gets defeated by Sasori off screen. And you have and you're having the first mission of the new revived Team Takashi go to the sand and rescue Gaara. And along the way they are joined by the elder Chiyo and then later Team Guy. It's also during this arc where you learn a bit more of the premise of what the Akatsuki's motives are, at least for the moment, is that they're after these things called Jinchuriki, which Naruto and Gaara is. And you kind of delve in a bit more of the bond Naruto has kind of developed with Gaara. But my god, the fight with Sakura and Chiyo against Sasori is one of the best fights in the series. And for me, it's one of the best fights like a female heroine in a shonen manga has received. If not the best. Then again, I probably haven't read as many shonen mangas as you guys, and you probably could name a few better ones. I'm sure you have something with Android 18 or something like that. But yeah, it's just perfect with the teamwork Chiyo and Sakura do when they face this puppet after puppet that Sasori does, like his initial puppet, his Kazekage puppet, and himself, along with the hundreds puppets they have. And it ends with this sort of bittersweet kind of death thing with Sasori dying in the puppets of that he made based off his parents, who were killed by Kakashi's father, the White Fang. And yeah, and then you also learn a bit more about Orochimaru's ties with the Akatsuki, with how he was partnered with Sasori, and Sasori has a spy for him. And he's going to meet him soon. So that's sort of sets up the next arc. Which is going to introduce Sasuke and stuff. And then you get while the fight with Dedera is kind of quick, but you kind of see Kakashi using his Manga Sharingan ability for the first time, the Kami, and you also see Naruto slowly developing into more of a tailed beast transformation from what was promised, what was hinted at in part 1. And you immediately have Kakashi try and seal it before it gets too dangerous, but you get the hint that this is going to be terrifying. It's this in a way, Nine Tails was kind of a different kind of take on the Super Saiyan at the time, at least. It's like a power-up, but the more he gets powered up, the more he turns into a monster, which is good. And then you have that tearful moment where Naruto's upset that Gaara is dead, but then Chiyo revives him at the cost of her own life. And by the end of it, you have Naruto and Gaara fully forming a friendship. Stuff. So yeah, it's a pretty good arc with also the hints of this new guy called Toby, who will play a larger role in the series later on, joins the Akatsuki, and he's quite funny, particularly his interaction with Dedra. So in many ways, yes. For me, the Kazekage arc is the perfect introduction to introduce the characters. Nearly everyone gets screen time that they needed. You really get introduced to the threat level that the Akatsuki is, but how powerful they are, where each fight they're in, even if it's fake or the real ones, it takes more than just one ninja to face them. It takes at least two at least. With examples like Sakura and Chiyo, they both needed to be there if they had any chance of beating Sasori. Introduces the threat level. It also builds on the world of Naruto a bit by confirming what Naruto and Gaara are with Jinchuriki, and it promises a reunion at the next arc with Orochimaru, we're going to introduce the Sasuke and stuff, but yeah. And that the Akatsuki have already captured at least 3 tailed beasts. So yeah, I suppose in many ways that would be one of my two picks. The other one, of course, is the Pain arc, which I probably am going to pick it as it. But let's see. For many of the reasons, like Ichi had, it's the arc that's built up to like the death of Jiraiya, with Naruto, let's see, for the first time ever, let's see, grieving with a loss that has become rather very personal to him, perhaps even more personal than the third Hokage, his death and stuff. And for the first time ever, vows to kill someone, as despite his career as a ninja, he's never really killed anyone except for that fake Itachi, who was a sand spy kind of thing from the Kazekage arc. At the same time, having him learn this new Sage Mode ability and stuff, but at the same time, elsewhere you have Sasuke, Ritzy, and Taka teaming up with the Akatsuki and fighting what was perhaps my favorite character introduced in Part 2, Killer Bee, and then we see them team working for the first time, and he gets captured, where he tricks them into thinking he's captured, but at the same time it sets up the later conflict that the Cloud would have with Sasuke, and calling off 5 Kage Summit to finally deal with this Akatsuki threat. Doing that, now they've lost both their Jinchuriki. Let's see, they've finally decided to take action and stuff. And let's see, at this point, back at the village, you have Pain invading the village, and decimating it. Let's see, taking on Kakashi, even killing him, which I think shocked everyone at the time. Let's see, and also you killed off other characters like Shizune. And then you have Pain doing what no other villain was capable of, and destroying the entire village, at least with the buildings and stuff. Not everyone inside, because Tsunade does that giant summoning of Katsuyu to save them, or at least the ones that are still alive. Let's see. There's also other memorable moments, like Konohamaru taking on a version of Pain and him showing that he knows Rasengan. And then you have like the epic battle between Naruto versus Pain, which is probably my most favorite, fight in the entire series, to be honest. Because it's like, at the time, it's kind of like the final boss and Naruto at his strong final form kind of sense. Sage mode, where they battle out, and you see how powerful Naruto is with the Sage mode stuff. And unfortunately, it's not enough at first, because Pain kills like the frog teacher he had, and then he puts Naruto down. And as Naruto's about to do one of his like big talks thing, Pain, for the first time ever, is able to silence Naruto, and he does not have an answer for anything, with his warning about, yeah, I did all this to your village, but this is what happened to me so many years ago by you at the Leaf lineage. And it like makes Naruto, and it's kind of shocked Naruto, because for the once in the first time, he's kind of like given this sort of perspective where the outsider's view of the Leaf village, where it's not viewed in like a positive light, because like the Leaf has like destroyed this small country because they were more powerful, while the small village was left to suffer for the wars done by the more powerful nations. In many ways, it's kind of, you could it's kind of like based on like the whole nuclear weapons and like the superpowers with the smaller countries around it in the real world, if you're going to go politically with it. But anyway, it's like that. And you have Hinata interrupting Witty, confessing her love and stuff, which I'm pretty sure for most of us now is a bit cringeworthy, but is then just quickly, immediately beaten by Pain and looks like to have been killed by him. Naruto goes berserk, going 6 tails after all the build-up of everything he's lost, his master, his sensei, his village, and now this. Another pile of guilt to add to the pile, and he turns into like that's in further closer to the 9 tails and its 6 tails form, and perhaps battles out in an epic monster sort of fat monster versus god kind of brawl thing. And just as he's about to go full on 9 tails and just give in to his despair, he is stopped by none other than his father, the 4th Hokage, where he finally learns about his connection to the 4th. And you have this sort of like emotional thing where Naruto's at first pissed off with the 4th because, hey, you put a monster inside me, your own son. And then you have this like talk with like Naruto reveals that the masked man was behind the attack, the 9 tails. and Minato talks about how pain came to be, and he encourages Naruto's word. And let's see, with this like encouragement, Naruto's ready for round 3 of the fight when he finally defeats Pain. And then finally comes to confront the actual Pain, who is Nagato. I suppose kind of disappointing in ways, but in some ways, I suppose what comes next with the revival, it both works and doesn't work. On one hand, it helps Naruto be regarded as a hero, but at the same time, I think after that moment for the Pain, for the Pain arc, and then the later half of the part 2, the suspense of death is kind of gone now, because you revived characters that come back to life, and it's probably for most people it's like, okay, these characters aren't going to die in the future, even though I think there could have been cases where you could have killed off Kakashi but yeah, Naruto's the hero. He gets acknowledged by everyone and gets a hug by his gal. Sorry if that sounds pretty inappropriate, but hey. But yeah, in many ways, it is like nearly the perfect Ritzy arc, but there are a lot of frustrating things when you look back on it, like, or minor nitpicks, like, and the fact that with Pain, you had the 6th path of Pain, and you had these 6 different paths of Pain, and you also had Kona there, and for the first time in a long while, you had an antagonist with a bunch of group of antagonists in a sort of mini set with the Akatsuki, because I suppose one of the problems with the Akatsuki is, given the fact that they work in groups of 2, there's not many villains for all the K11 members to have a fair share, so the only way you could really have them all have a bit of screen time is if they all take on one Akatsuki member, but they don't necessarily do that with all of them, to be honest, and if they do, it's pretty minor, like Kisame versus Team Guy, or Team 8, along with Team 7 versus Toby, and that one was mostly off-screen. So you could have had all these different battles. Heck, the opening kind of teased that for the anime, with Sakura, Ino, and Hinata versus Conan, and Team Guy and Kiba versus the Deva Path, all that stuff. Heck, even Storm 2 kind of did a different version that you kind of wish happened, like Kakashi, Ino, and Shoji versus Pain. Team 8 versus Conan. Sakura, Tsunade, and Shikamaru versus Pain again. And then finally you have the final round being Naruto, but also it felt like this could have been a good opportunity to introduce some new jutsu and abilities that the members of the K9 had, instead of what they did down up to the final battles in the 4th Great Ninja War against those 10-tailed clones. In many ways, I kind of wish that Sakura got the diamond seal in the Pain arc when she can fight on par with her master and stuff a bit sooner, and it could also help later on when she in future arcs where she encounters Sasuke again, the Edo Tensei, before going all to those 10-tailed stuff, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, for me, it's either the Pain arc or the Kazekage arc as the favorite arcs of part 2. I'm done. Hello?
So, what topic we're in?
We're still on the favorite arc, and Mr. Wikipedia here just gave us his very long 35-minute explanation on why he can't pick between the Pain arc or the Kazekage Rescue arc.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I just had so much to talk about.
I know. Yeah, I mean, at least you gave me the opportunity to get some slice of pizzas. Actually, twice, 2 of them. I mean, so
funny. I'm having the same thing actually with
me 3.
Okay, so I got you. So I gave you guys a long time break.
It's okay. It's okay. Even if it was that long, it was probably the exact same length as the latest Hunter x Hunter chapter. A long time to finish reading.
That's true.
We're a novel, guys. Who say we're manga?
All right, I'll go next here. My favorite arc would have to, besides I'm going to agree with Lucky Chi on his thoughts on the Pain arc, but my favorite arc would actually be the arc following after it, the 5 Kazekage, dumbass,
No,
the 5 Kage, 5 Kage Summit, on the merit that it shows us what the fourth Great Ninja War arc could have been like. You finally got names and faces to these Kages from other lands, who they are, what they look like, and then Sasuke comes back into the fold full time, and he has this grand epic battle not only between him and Danzo, but him and Kakashi, and it's just there's so much potential there, but with hindsight being 2020, it's so much wasted potential. The samurais, oh, they're so cool. Nope, they end up contributing basically nothing to the next arc. Oh, the 5 Kages are they're all gonna join together and fight Madara. Nope, they get their asses handed to them. Severely, I might add.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sasuke's finally Sasuke's Sasuke's got the he's thinking more. He's thinking more. He's using these great strategies. Nope. He gets his ass handed to him by Madara.
That was glorious, actually. Oh, never mind. Actually, it reminds me of Killer Bee. Because I remember it was like, yeah, he look at Sasuke, he did the block, he used Sasuke. Oh, never mind. No, not Killer Bee. But actually, after he beats Itachi, everything goes downhill until I guess he fights Danzo. But it was just hilarious because he's like, Killer Bee, oh, he beat him with 6 swords. He needs healing. Oh, he still needs healing. He got his skin ripped off or something like that. Chest ripped off or something like that. Right. And then he got the Summit arc. And then you go
the fight with Killer Bee was to mainly hype up how powerful Killer Bee was as the perfect Jinchuriki.
Yeah, but he was damn good. I mean, but the point is, Sasuke, yeah, I got him with a Sharingan. Oh, there you go. Let me turn around. Oh, I got clothesline. My skin. My chest. I'm about to die here, guys. Oh, look, Sasuno. I got Sasuno. What you gonna do, Killer Bee, brother? Oh, he chopped me. He chopped me. Oh my God, I am losing so much. Oh, the humanity. Yeah, and then when it comes to Danzo, who is this little fuck?
Yeah, but one thing, as much as I also like the Sasuke versus Danzo fight, and that's a pretty goddamn good fight. I don't care what anyone else has to say about that fight. That fight between the two of them was fucking awesome.
I will definitely give it that.
But there was a missed opportunity for Obito. Yeah, spoiler alert, Obito is Toby is Obito. Duh. But
everyone should know that.
For anyone just getting into this way too late,
how could you?
Obito is Toby. But there's a missed opportunity for Toby to say, "You're right, Danzo." In the anime and the manga, he goes, "You're right, Danzo. Sasuke's Sharingan is nowhere near Itachi's." But there's a missed opportunity for him to just gloat even more to say, "You're right, Danzo. Sasuke's Sharingan is nowhere near that of Itachi's. It's better." Like, come on, perfect opportunity, Kishimoto, and you waste it.
No, no. Okay, Steve. Here's the other thing that was a missed opportunity. We got the Izanagi, right?
Yeah.
And Toby's like there watching the battle. And what would have been great is like if Toby said, "Huh, it's interesting that he didn't use the other one."
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
That would have been perfect.
But so as much as there are wasted opportunities later on, it's still, for part 2, it's one of my all-time favorite arcs, just for the ideas it presents. And the way they're executed, at least within the arc, are great. Sure, there's a couple of hiccups here and there, but overall, it's a pretty solid arc, and it's nowhere near the downfall we get later on. All right, For Life, you're last.
Is this the best arc or worst arc?
Best arc.
Oh, best arc. Yeah, best arc. Yeah.
Because if it's the least favorite, how is this not a unanimous decision? But okay, best arc.
I think I know what you're going to be playing. Go ahead and say it.
Best arc. It's kind of tricky because, like, on one hand, you got the Kazekage. I was gonna say summit. Wow, Kazekage Retrieval, Rescue, you want to call it arc, which is like the starting ground for part 2, with a lot of potential, a lot of futures, promises, especially where you got like Team Guy was the first one to recruit to send out, and then you got the I guess you could kind of say it was one of the hype aspect with Guy versus Kasame. Ever since that one sweet kick in the face, I was like, oh man, you know, it'd be awesome if they fight each other. Oh, they do fight each other here. Oh, it's awesome. You know, it's kind of that kind of sense. Then you got Itachi going against Naruto, and then he put him into Genjutsu, and then a lot of crazy stuff is happening. So it's a lot of a more of an emotional struggle in the very beginning of part 2, and I like that a lot. And I try to remember if was it an anime exclusive, but I did like how Deidara was such an asshole where he's like, oh look, this is the Kazekage you want to save. Pat in the face, like, there you go. You want to save him? You want to save him? You want to save a little boy? You know, he's like, wow, he's patting his face like he's a dummy. Wow, I want him to die now. So it got that, you know, and then it was cool how it had the mystery early on as well. Because you got this guy, Sorcery. You thought he's just like some big roach or something like that. And then you kind of gasp when you see his face be revealed to be a puppet. And then you started to question, where the hell is the real one? So it's like a lot of mystery before the conflict, before the climax of the arc. And then when the climax comes in, it's pretty worth it. It was like very engaging. Then this is where Sakura finally shines. This is where Sakura, after 2.5 years that we had to deal with her being a person that just want to be a ninja for the sake of love, but now there's more than that for her going on, and seeing her evolve this much, and the tag team with Chiyo, and then the fight breaks out, gets crazier and crazier, and then if you follow the anime version, it's even crazier because the animation was really fluid. So it's like everything just go chaotic between him. Between her, Chiyo, and Sorcery. And there's a lot of backstory behind the Sorcery thing. Before Sorcery got his not redemption, but more of a cleaner, a better ending send off for him in the war arc. I thought the ending was more tragic when you only consider the arc when you only consider the ending in that arc for him, because it was just like a tragic way to die for him. Since he pretty much let the parents, even though they're puppets, kills them. So it's like the family has died together. It's a very symbolic and a very heavy one. And I really enjoyed that. That's why I was upset when he was revived, only to get a better ending. Say like, you know, our generation is going to be fine. Don't worry about us, Sorcery. I'm using you, but still, don't worry about everything else. Oh, that made me feel peaceful. Instead, so we're pretty much making bad guys get the good ending as well, which I prefer. Bad guys get the very tragic way to end, because it's just the way it is. That's hardship of life. I love that kind of ending, and that's why Sorcery was one of my favorite villains in there, because of his tragic backstory, his charismatic. It has that frightening look. Like he's young, he's all cool about it. He's like chill. He looked like he came straight from Kuroko Basket in terms of design. Like he's very, like, I guess a pretty boy looking, but still like kind of had that scary face that he could shoot out. It just everything about that arc has a lot of great stuff happening. And again, it's a lot of emotional scale, especially the part when Naruto find out that he failed to save Gaara, and then he breaks down in tears. And the anime did it justice in terms of the voice acting, especially where it's like there's no music until you find out he's crying deep inside, because he's trying so bad to change a lot of things after training for so long, and yet nothing has changed. It's tragic, and it was crazy. I mean, you could try to argue, yeah, reviving Gaara would pretty much negate all that, but I still loved it because of how he just. Because again, it was at this point you care about Naruto. At this point you already follow Naruto to his long ass journey, and now you want to root for him. But then you see him fail. It's like, damn, why is not going the way it is going for him? It kind of reminds me in the modern age. It's the same thing with me with Tokyo Ghoul. Like, damn, why is it not going well for him? Why is it freaking being that harsh. I still remember how they had that funny but yet sad at the same time Tumblr post where it's like, can I have a happy ending? What's the choices? No. What's the second choice? No. Because that's just the way it is. It's like, fuck, man. Give a guy a break for once. So it's like, that's it's the emotional part that gets me for the first arc. I mean, like, I know a lot of people don't like it that much because it tends to go slow. But again, if you follow along with the character-driven story, more of a development for a new part of the story that's going to follow along, like Toby, eventually be Obito, more mystery around Itachi. Now you start to think maybe Itachi is not 100% bad. Something up with that smile really irks me. Very set piece that you really got to remember. And then when it comes to the revelation, it's like, oh, now it makes sense. So the second arc I'm struggling is a pain arc. And I guess it's easy to know why it's so good as well, because you pretty much get the idea. It's like Konoha is in danger. Pain actually destroyed Konoha, which was a huge shocker. I remember people telling me that nobody could have comprehend the spoilers they received. Everybody think it was either a fake, somebody made a hell of a drawing, but it was hell of a true. That Pain really destroyed Konoha. That sounds very unheard of. And it was. It was at one point, which is hilarious because around that time, you got the anime doing the filler that talks about that revolves with Konoha being destroyed. Well, not destroyed entirely, but they're under attack. The terrorists are attacking Konoha. Then the manga, they finalized, and yeah, this guy really did it. He destroyed Konoha. And then the second movie, Bonds, terrorists attacking Konoha. That's the hilarious part of that time. But yeah, it was still unheard of to see Konoha getting destroyed. Like, maybe because we were all so trained that despite there is some hardship, there's always a good ending to it. But that one was like, that seems like such an Attack on Titan way of saying, like, you thought everything will always go well. No, not this time. And that kind of style. So, yeah, there's a lot of great stuff, a lot of crazy key point in that arc. Like, you like 100% established that Danzo is really that bad. I mean, he killed a messenger frog, which is pretty much messed up. He kills the frog just for the sake of him to get the Hokage title once Tsunade gets killed off. What an asshole. So you get that. You get some fighting part. Kakashi died, technically speaking, and that was like a shocker too. I was still on the fence that he didn't die. Maybe he's barely surviving. I don't know. Even though Tsunade pretty much indicated that, yeah, he did die, but still, because it's hard to fathom. I'm like, did he really die? He's like a main character. No. This series is going crazy. What the hell is going on? This is before Revival was being a huge thing, which, yeah, Gara did it first, but it was never that, but it had a logic behind it. So it never really got me across like everybody could do it now, or there is a formula, or there's a secret, or there's a scientific idea to do it. But it's not like that. So I was buying in. I bought in completely that Shizune died. I was like, what the hell is wrong with this chapter? This is before, Attack on Titan happened. So I was just losing my shit throughout the entire that one chapter, which is funny because it was a chapter where you thought Tsunade was about to fight Pain, which should have happened. But I did like how Pain is like very smart about everything about it. Like, okay, I found out Naruto is not here. I found out that you have an idea to defeat me. So you know what? That's not happening. What's going to happen is I'm going to destroy Konoha and then wait for him. Let's see how he's going to handle. I'm like, okay, this guy's a real bad guy. I love this guy, but I'm really scared of what's going to happen right now. And then this shit happens. Then the fight happens between Naruto and Pain. All it was missing like a soundtrack from Metal Gear Rising, the final boss theme, because it was that epic. In the manga, at least, but it was that epic. Like, it just feel finale. It just feel like everything accumulate to this moment. It's like, come on, beat his ass, fuck him up. It's like that exciting. And then you got QB getting involved, and then going QB 8-tails, like, holy shit, what is happening? You're losing your shit. You're doing 360 every time you see a panel or two. So then you see Minato. I was like, oh my god, how much this arc is contained? How much arc crazy revelation? It's like you just lose your shit. A lot of people debate if the end part of the battle between Naruto and Pain was the best, was lackluster or was actually really good. I find it to be really good because it all goes down to stamina. Much like it's similar to Luffy versus Lucy. It goes down to stamina. There's no put a fast one where like, oh, I got a new power up. It's like, no, this is like everything you already gotten, everything you already pulled out. Just throw everything in there. Be the best man. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. That kind of routine. So it was awesome that way. And especially with the whole time clock, it's like, I got 5 seconds, 5, 4. It's like, come on, I need that 5 seconds so I could do that. I gotta do that. Shiran Tensei 3. It's like a lot of tension build. And then the Rasengan does the end game. Is like, it was awesome, and it was even better in the video game, Ninja Storm 2. Yeah, Ninja Storm 2. It was even cooler in the game because the way how it's like it stopped the music, and then he was about to do Rasengan, and then I think you gotta press one button to do the Rasengan, and then boom, and then you just see like a crazy effect. And then if you get a complete effect, you see Jiraiya next to Naruto as to say like, oh, not Jiraiya and Minato, or it's just Jiraiya. I try to remember, as to say this is all for dumb. This is all on dumb against you, Pain, and you had to take it. It was symbolic and awesome. So yeah. And then we get the ending part. Very controversial. This is the part that it's a deal breaker to many, including me.
But of course.
Yeah. Like, as much as I like the backstory of Pain. I like what it was presented. The only problem I have is how they solve it, how it solved the solution, how it comes to the conclusion for those two. Because what I also like in the Pain fight is that Naruto was actually challenged by the mental thought of how to take care of this world. And he didn't have the answer, because it goes to show you this world is way more than anybody can handle, no matter what. And it was great because it almost essentially say that the Sasuke is no any different from you guys. I mean, Toby would be the one that made it different, but the point is, it almost made it seem like the Sasuke is not. It's like there may be terrors to your eyes, but not really too much of a villain, because at least they're trying to do something to change it up the world, even if they had to be foolish by like other degrees. Like, I wanted to present my art. I want money, and then stuff like that. But when it comes to other guys, it's like, well, we're doing this to see what the world could offer us for real. It's like it add an extra layer to the entire lore, and it was great, especially how Naruto couldn't find the answer. Now, when it comes to the answer, it's fine, but what it results to is where's the problem lies in, and that's the whole Pain reviving everybody. Kakashi was confirmed dead. But now but it doesn't matter anymore because he's brought back. Shizune brought back. Other characters brought back. I guess the frog wasn't brought back, but the other guys, they were the one that was brought back. So yeah, again, it kind of just messed up the whole mood, the whole setting of everything has gone to hell. I mean, Konoha just got destroyed, but then Yamato is there, so Konoha kind of rebuilt in a matter of months, which is hard to believe, but whatever, But yeah, all that struggle. Then Sakura does the hug scene. Parent fans want to kill each other again, which is kind of funny.
Oh yeah.
which is kind of funny because I'm like, I see a lot of anime that does this. I do. Well, I didn't see a lot, but I started seeing more and more. I'm like, when they do this, it kind of makes you think, yeah, they're gonna end up together. If not, they still have the highest chance, even if they didn't get together. Well, I was damn wrong only for this reason, but I digress. Point is, the arc had a good ending. At the same time, not so good because of the whole revival thing. I mean, yeah, the volume made it a little better, the volume version, because the manga, they made it seem like, well, hey, look, I got the book. This is book, the Disgusting Ninja book. Remember that book? Yeah. Then you should know how this is gonna work. Oh yeah, you're right. Cool. I agree. I'm gonna trust you, Naruto. that's kind of stupid, or it is stupid. But in
So-
the volume, he did. But in the volume version, he did question like, okay, you want me to believe the book? Are you serious? You actually want me to believe in a book? And then he explained why he brought the book into the topic. And then you get the extra flashback scene where Nagato actually smiled. So that was even better. But again, the result is where it messed up because the whole reviving everybody thing, it just messed up the tone that we have experienced, that everybody can die and everybody can go to, anything could go straight to hell in a matter of a second. And it all caused by pain. So that part really ruins it. So if I'm going to pick the favorite arc, I will pick the first arc of part 2, the Kazekage arc one. Again, it's just the whole emotional drive. The fact that we first get a real first impression of all the updated character. Well, not Team Guy except for Guy, but Guy was cool enough, so I didn't mind too much. A little biased there, but still. And then it had a really great fight between Sakura, Chiyo, and Sasori. So there's that. It's funny too that everybody was still fixated on Jiraiya saying, "Do not use that Jetsu." It's like you pick, and I was too. I was like, "What do you mean by that? What Jetsu he has?" Now learning recently today, even though I have grown and learned about it a while ago, but recently today, whenever you hear technique, think as power up as well, because apparently that's the case as well now. So if you hear that Jetsu, that technique, you got to consider a power up. Like it could be, maybe Super Saiyan, maybe whatever, QB, you know? That's what I learned today. Like, well, more like finalizing 100%. I'm pretty sure I know what manga I'm talking about, guys. But anyway, yeah. Kazekage. That's my favorite arc.
I would like to point out that the Kazekage Rescue Arc Sakura versus Chiyo fight was voted third best in the third data book.
Oh,
Yeah.
But see, with one person's comment saying, "I'm amazed by Sakura's vote," and I believe the vote was 1,003 votes. The top 2 fights were Sasuke versus Itachi and Sasuke versus Deidara, because Sasuke is probably the favorite in Japan along with Kakashi. But we'll get to that later.
We will definitely get to that. Which it's a good transition into least favorite arcs.
Oh, I feel like we're all going to say the same answer.
I've got 2.
Least favorite?
I'm actually
unanimous decision.
Here's the thing. So I got 2 that I'm wrestling with right now. So I'm gonna save my thoughts for the end. I'm gonna open it up to you guys while I'm thinking all this.
Fine, I'll start first. I'll start first and get out of the way. The last arc is definitely the worst arc. I'm not even saying least favorite. It's never will be my favorite. It's a freaking worst arc that I ever comprehend in a manga series. And then Bleach brought her back, say, "Hold my beer." Well, it didn't top it, but it sure tells me that there is no way that it'll be a bad war arc. And Bleach said, "Hold my beer." So there you go. Anyway, back to Naruto. Yeah, that last arc should be unanimous decision. I don't care what it brought up. I don't care the cool design, especially the whole Naruto going 9-tail Bijou move. Not the final version, because the final version feels like just a weird remix that Kishimoto forgot to color his skin color or something like that, or more like color the golden part to his skin color, because I prefer it that way to match up well. It just looked kind of off for me, but I don't know. That's just me. I'm being picky. Anyway, the war arc. Oh God, the war arc. It started off strong potential in the beginning. Yeah, promising. It feels like a war. I still like that panel shot with Zabuza and Kakashi about to do their powerful strike. As the background, you just see a lot of people getting killed off because that's war. I like that. I like that shot. Kind of remind me of the Civil War cover of Captain America and Iron Man fighting each other. They're like about to die each other or something, but every other heroes are just knocked down in the surrounding. I like that shit. Anyway, so yeah, they had some promising part. Then it goes downhill after Kakashi dealing with Zabuza and Haku. After that, it goes downhill. Why? Because every character is getting their moments that I don't even know who they are. I don't know why they had to be significant. Who the hell is Gold and Silver? Why did Gold and Silver end up being a huge plot convenience?
Mifune, man, Mifune.
Hanzo was somewhat promising because the fact that he took on the 3 Senate and lived, but he got taken care of by Mifune in a very quick manner, and somehow he took the glory. I don't know why. The only good part, I guess, is the Choji and Asuma. So that's the part that's only good. Kind of made a look like a bit of a hint that maybe Ino is the one that Choji will end up with, because the way how it segue from "Am I gonna get married, Dad?" and then the first thing you see is it's Ino. So yeah, let's kind of give you that.
Poor life.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Then day 2 comes in. This is where Naruto just pretty much steals the show. They got this. Now we know they got this moment where it was made for filler. You know what I'm talking about, guys? Was it 450?
I think so. And no.
Wait. Here's a love letter, because I had to make a filler arc, which I never did it.
It's 540. I believe it was 540. 540 wasn't that.
Oh, 540. Excuse me. Yeah, 540. Yeah.
450 was the
540.
was when Naruto came back to the village.
Yeah, they had to insert something in order for the anime to do fillers, but that never happened. So, alrighty then, cool. Stuff happens. A lot of stuff keeps happening. I mean, it's cool in visual wise, but other than that, it's not too much of relevant. This is when Naruto comes in. This is pretty much what it says. All those side characters that you thought you were gonna end up getting more out of them, no. That's not happening anymore. Why? Because I can't do crap with side characters. Well, I'm going to do a lot more crap is with Naruto and Sasuke. Well, Sasuke's not there. How are you going to do more crap with him? Easy. I'll get him involved. First, I'm going to have him introduced to the 4 Kages, the 4 Hokages, the past one. And then a flashback. Flashback was good. I like the flashback. Yeah, it's more or less what we already know. But they had to drop a hint that Zetsu was always there all this time. Ooh. But then, yeah.
To add on to that, Sasuke at that point was the saving grace, because we were stuck in, and I've said this every time, one battlefield. Battlefield. Yeah. Once, well, okay. It was sad. The saddest part is, I mean, yeah, it was dragging on. But I was still interested. And then it got more interesting when Obito versus Naruto was really happening. They got a color page of epicness, of a double page spread that says like, this is it. That's true.
Boss. Give me that Metal Gear Rising final song. Give me that song right now. Play that song. Dun, 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 dun. Give me that platinumness. But yeah, it felt super hype because it's like the final boss time. Then we stuck in the battlefield forever and ever because Juve. To make matter worse, a lot of things feel status quo outside the people that dies, like Neji, Shikamaru father, other characters, which one of them survived from a blast somehow and ends up being in Boruto, but that's a different story altogether. And all that stuff is happening. And then we finally take a break from a different scenery with Sasuke. Seeing the Konoha, the updated edition. They got the flashback. Again, I already said what I had needed to say. Then Sasuke come in. Now, again, the hype rejuvenated when Minato shows up right in front of Naruto because, yeah, family reunion without Kushina. But still, yeah, family reunion.
Also, he asks Sakura if she's Naruto's girlfriend, which for us Naruto fans was like, yes! Sorry, go on.
We did a whole podcast.
Yeah, if you want to do a parent talk, yeah, you can say that. But back to the story. So like, essentially, that volume itself, the content itself was actually pretty fun. Because you got Team 7 actually doing stuff. Sakura actually gets another power up. Convenient, but still, he got another power up. They do the traditional 3 Sennin moment, which is awesome. Everything was pretty cool, pretty enjoyable, highly enjoyable. Then it kicks in and then it just kick itself out by introducing Jubei Obito, and this is where they establish the rules. First of all, nobody can harm him. Why? Because you need to have nature in you So that means Naruto is the only guy. Good. We exclude everybody to do any fighting justice because, we can't have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood final boss style, let alone the Gintama one that just happened to one now. We can't do that. No, we need one-on-one with the most impossible, but apparently becomes possible scenario. Because, we got to exclude everybody else except for protagonist. And Sasuke, at least Sasuke, he can't do shit. So that's laughable until he somehow gets the power to fight anybody that requires that. Because, Naruto and Sasuke.
but by the way, for those of you who are wondering, volume-wise, after volume 66, it goes down.
Yeah. And, we got the Hokages, but they're pretty much like a supporting ground. Like, all right, now, so what do you want me to do? Teleport me. You got it. That's what they do. Hey, but the only cool part was the whole Minato thing. That's cool.
I did like that brief scene where you had Sakura and Tsunade summoning a larger version of Katsuyu. That was cool.
Yeah, because we can't have. But
it could have been something else, though. I feel like the Katsuyu thing. We have one slug. It's like that's it.
He's like, take note, Kohi. When you do your manga, just make things bigger. Never do a new visual aspect. Make things bigger. Make things faster. Double the speed, double the power.
Yeah, I know.
Brand new technique.
Yeah, with BlueStar's favorite arc.
To be fair, for me at the time,
BlueStar favorite arc.
It's not my favorite arc. Let's see, and anyway,
best arc ever.
No, don't stop. But anyway, I was saying at the time for me that Sakura and Tsunade bit, I was pretty much desperate for anything Sakura, so yeah, I pretty much enjoyed it.
Yeah,
but anyway, go ahead.
Honestly, I was in the same boat as you because it was like here's the problem. They did the Team 7 team up thing, and it was awesome. It was cool. But then you put it onto an incredible halt by having Jubi Obito. I forgot the official name, but whatever. You got the whole Jubi Obito part come in, and you just flat out said he's exclusive to anybody who has nature in them. We're like, so you're telling me nobody can touch him? Really?
Cop out.
Like I guess Taijutsu worked, but nobody even bothers to try to go for it. It's like
Lee. They could have used Lee.
Yeah.
Heck, Sakura's fighting style is pretty much Hulk smashing strength, pretty much. You couldn't have her punch, let's see, Obito? Given the fact that you just smashed like 100 10-tailed clones.
BlueStar, we have to we have to initiate nature, man. Nature.
Okay. I don't want to go too. I don't want to go too long with this arc because this is a long arc, and this arc you could actually make like a 500-page worth of essay saying the downfall of this horrible, awful arc.
You can do a podcast on this arc alone.
Yeah, seriously. So I'm gonna try not to stay that long because I even skipped one of the dumbest part of the arc. Damn, we cannot stop everybody. We cannot stop the Edo Tensei. They are screwed. We are screwed because we can't stop it because there is no way. If we kill Kabuto, they will still roam around.
Like, what?
It's a good thing we have this eye ability that somehow makes it perfectly. Oh my god.
No.
Hey, Kabuto, I remember you've been hyping about, hey, I'm very interested of Naruto. Hey, I'm looking forward until we meet up again, Naruto. Naruto this, Naruto that. Man, you look like a secret villain for Naruto. I like that. Guess what? You're my final villain. Excuse me? Yeah, that's right. Me, Itachi. I'm your final battle. Let's do this. This never thought of it. I never thought of it ever. I could think of Kasame versus Guy because that kick alone is like, yeah, I want them to fight. I never thought of I want Itachi versus Kabuto. Who in the right mind ever thought of that? Nobody.
In many ways,
he was dead.
In many ways, I thought that Kabuto would be like, let's see, along with Naruto and Sakura, would be like Sanin Battle 2.0, if they're not going to have Sasuke be the Signing Battle 2.0 thing.
You would think.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the perfect replacement. This is the perfect replacement. Also, you get Naruto and Sakura finally teaming up against a serious opponent. That'd be awesome.
Would have been. You think?
Let's not forget the coolest guy ever.
I'll get to that. But yeah, that whole competitive thing was BS. It was nonsense. The only good part is Itachi, his side of the story, especially when the parents tell them they already know, so do what you have to do, and then Itachi suffer for it. But other than that, BS. Then going back to the whole Jubi Obito, whatever you want to call them these days, you know, Heave Hove beat him. That's what beats Obito. He almost had the nerve to pull not a retcon. He almost pulled a status quo by reviving everybody, but then Madara's like, nope, for me. Thank you. Oh shit, I lost my eyes though. But I'm gonna break that rule too. Sasuke needs eyes? Ha, that's funny. I can still do it without eyes. Logic was thrown out the window by this point. Anything goes. You could put your damn eye. You could put a damn eye into your socket. Voila! I can see.
Toss him. Just toss the eye.
I can see. I can breathe. I can see. I can fight. That's the logic. It's utter nonsense. And then the Madara thing. The only good part of Madara is Guy, because Guy saved that fucking art. They've saved that damn horrific, whatever you call them. It's just bad.
Even then, he should have died.
He saved it. Yeah, and he didn't die. Way to destroy the momentum. Way to destroy the reason behind that. And then you get the whole Kaguya. Oh god.
Oh god.
Skipping ahead. You know the story. It was all planted for Boruto to even exist. Blah 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 blah. Then you get to the Kaguya defeat. Yeah, remember making a female villain? That would have been an awesome idea. You know what would have been awesome? At least actually have his own consciousness instead of being like a slave to some boy or some dude named Zetsu. That would have been awesome. Yeah.
So ended up the best female villain in Naruto ended up being that Sound Ninja Shikamaru fought against in the Sound 5.
Tayuya? Sorry.
I suppose
she was pretty.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So then we got the whole. Then you got the whole Naruto versus Sasuke. Whatever. Then the ending. I'm not even gonna go there. Then the very ending. I said chapter 700. Excuse me. Whatever. Arc sucked. I'm done.
So who's next?
Do you want to go, Steve, or do you want me to go?
I think we're all in the consensus that our least favorite arc is going to be the Fourth Great Ninja War.
Oh yeah.
You know, at this rate, you should say this. Okay, now we gotta exclude the last two arc. Now let's really begin, which is the least favorite.
Yeah, no, we're gonna after that little rant. I think we're all gonna be. The Fourth Great Ninja War arc is the worst arc out of all of them. Everyone here
in many ways, it's the equivalent of the Clone Saga for manga.
Oh God,
we're not getting into that. BlueStarSaber, we already got into that way before we started recording this. So let us now move on. Let us move on now to our favorite character of part 2.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay, fine.
So yeah, unanimously, like I was stuck between. Well, these guys know it was either 5 Kage or War. But after thinking about it more, I'm like, yeah, probably the War, because 5 Kage for me at least was disappointing for Naruto's character.
No. Disappointing for Sakura's character. Get out of here. Well, yeah, Naruto is disappointing, but Sakura takes the cake to the new level.
Well, that too, yeah. They both did.
She's the hold my beer.
But see, the highlights of that arc for me was like Sasuke's battle against the Raikage and Danzo, Killer Bee's fight against Kizume, because it's one of the few fights in the series where you see ninja that are not from the Leaf Village battling each other. And it's pretty much my favorite character introduced in part 2 against my favorite villain. But yeah. Both of which I think we probably agree deserved a bit more screen time, but go on.
But yeah, like, I think thinking about it more, it's going to be the war for the same reasons that 4 Life just described. So I think that's pretty much sense. And like I said,
Mr. Second Wikipedia over here just described. You mean?
Yes.
Sort of Christ, you're reading off the freaking Wikipedia page.
Me?
Yes, you.
Yes, you.
That's more like
Blue Star is our first Mr. Wikipedia guy over his over his explanation on I can't choose between Kazekage Rescue Arc or the Pain Arc. And then you, for life, you're second, Mr. Wikipedia, because you just described the entire. You just described the entire war.
I could have gone worse. And you know it. You know it. I could have gone way more detail.
Don't we know it all, ladies and gentlemen? If you want to see how worse he can get, go over to James S. Cassidy's YouTube page, watch any of the Naruto podcasts that he is in, and oh my god!
Oh yeah, I remember that. No, the ending podcast.
Oh my god!
But
I like to see myself. Hold on. I like to see myself as Wiki You know those fan made for each series. They're like shortened. But get to the point quick.
Wiki
Blue Star is Wikipedia. Every detail known to mankind is there, with different sections. Legacy.
And it's not just Naruto.
That era.
It's not just Naruto.
All right. And transitioning on over to our favorite characters, I shall begin with my favorite character being fucking Danzo.
Hold on, time out. We all established the final arc and stuff.
Yes, we are establishing that the final arc is the worst.
Is the worst arc in the series, not just part 2.
Maybe we should make series. Maybe we should try to balance this out. Maybe we should just pick the least favorite without the last 2.
Okay.
No, don't. We went for life. I clocked you in at 45 minutes. I clocked you in at 45 minutes.
That's a lie. That is
not a lie. That is not a lie.
20.
Well, I do say out of like the first 5 arcs of like part 2, I'd say the weakest would probably be the new Team 7 arc where you're introduced to Yamato and Sai and stuff. And there's some cool moments, like a few character moments. Like a few character moments with like Naruto, Sakura, Yamato, Sai. They all have this good kind of character moments, and you get a cool introduction to Sasuke. And you have this epic battle where Naruto goes to the Four Tails against Orochimaru for the first time. I suppose what's disappointing is the lack of action you kind of get in there. You kind of want, because, you know... No. I'm not saying that action equals quality. Because that's not.
I was about to say
you're making it sound
like. I feel like there was like. I feel like there was a few missed opportunities to like have like Kabuto against like Naruto or Sakura or Yamato when they encountered him again. Or when you introduced to Sasuke again, you missed out on a kind of cool fight between like the new Team Yamato and him. So it's kind of like, it feels like it could have gone a bit longer and stuff. Just at least to see, you know, show off Sasuke's new skills instead of just fighting Dedera the first time round, or Orochimaru and all that kind of stuff. You know, have like a proper, like, introduction fight with Sasuke. But anyway, there we go. I said that little piece. There you go. Who's listening to TV in the back?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You put a TV on because you thought it was going to go weak.
I am still on the consensus that the war arc is the worst arc. And
you
can't change my opinion on that. Everything before and after, nothing will compare.
Okay,
if you want my opinion on the second worst, I'll say the Hadan and Kakazu arc. The only good parts about that contributed to the plot was Naruto's training of the Rasen Shuriken. Other than that, you could have completely cut out Asuma's death, Shikamaru's revenge against Hidan. And you could have cut everything else but Naruto's training, and you could immediately skip on over Sasuke's revenge against Itachi, and nothing would have changed.
Anyway.
Dang, that's a very explosive ending to that sentence.
You were saying, anyway, for life, you were saying to what I was just saying about the new Team 7 arc?
To be honest, what's going on in the background?
Yeah, Steve, you're kind of distracting with that witsy
I know.
background.
I'm doing it intentionally to piss people off.
Oh,
now for reals, yes, I am going to turn stuff off.
Okay.
Yeah, to be honest, I agree with him. To be honest, I agree with Blue Star. It's my least favorite because in hindsight, nothing really come out of it. Well, very, very few, but not the crucial ones. I'm not even gonna go there either. So
that's
fair. Like that.
That's fair.
And it did have an anticlimactic ending. We're not gonna give up. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's true.
That's fair.
Alright, so favorite character. My favorite character is Danzo simply because he's an anti-villain done right. Yeah, he does bad things to good people, but he's in that mentality of everything I do is for the greater good. And unfortunately, the old saying goes, the path to hell is often paved with good intentions. So, and what I like about his character also is that introduction, like the first time you see him, he's just this calm, cool, stoic old man. You just don't know really anything about him. But the second you look at him, you're not gonna like this guy. He's like, geez, what can I compare? Who can I compare him to? He's
pretty much nearly any politician you can think of.
No, not anything real life. Let me see who I can compare it to. I can to
Amanda Walker. Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Well.
Sorry.
Well, a more evil version of Amanda Walker, but I was thinking more along the lines of Sauron.
Okay.
Like the guy in Lord of the Rings. For those of you who don't know, Saruman is the guy who gets possessed by Sauron, and because he's essentially Danzo. He believes that what he's doing is for the greater good, but he does just horrible, malicious things, and like Danzo just works in the shadows. He pops up in one arc, then he just disappears, then he pops up in another, and you find out what he's been doing in all that time. And it's just there's just this creepy mysticism about him, and it all culminates into his battle against Sasuke in the Five Kage Summit arc, where you truly learn how tragic this guy is. Just living in the shadow of Sarutobi and just never being able to be at that level of strength. And you see him turn it, and this is when you realize that he's kind of a broken man because he has to rely on all the Sharingan in his arm just to be able to stand toe-to-toe with anyone, really.
I guess, for me, my favorite character, and I probably already stated it before, was Killer Bee. Mainly because he's like this, it's like, it shows what Naruto could potentially become if he ever learns to control the Nine Tails. Not to mention, he has quite the fun, explosive kind of personality with his raps and all that stuff, and his crazy rhythm. I think some might have accused him of being a racial stereotype, but for many ways, I think what really helps is like how kind of like deep his character gets once you get to know him a bit, with like his relationship with his brother, the Eight Tails, the buddying relationship he develops with Naruto. In fact, those two work really well together. And in many ways, I'd like to see them team up a bit more. I'd like to see them team up a bit more. Besides, after the whole Battle of the Jinchuriki, he kind of becomes a bit irrelevant, which is kind of a shame because you'd think he'd be able to keep up with like because you think he'd like play a major part in like the battles between like the ten-tailed Jubiobi and Marder and stuff. I quite like how let's see. Yeah, it also helps Naruto develop a new perspective on the tailed beasts and stuff. See, I also like his fighting style, particularly the one when he went against Taka and he used those 8 sword styles stuff. Another one of my favorite fights is when he also went up against Kizame, and you learned a bit more because let's see, with Killer Bee you learn a bit more about how a Jinchuriki fights. And he's also, unfortunately, the only Jinchuriki you kind of get development from that's outside of Naruto and Gaara, because let's see, for most of Jinchuriki, they either die off screen or you get little bits and pieces about the others' backstories or abilities, like Yogotoni and the 4th Misokage, etc. and stuff. So yeah, I felt like he was a great character. Let's see, whatever scene he was in, he managed to steal the show. You always get excited when he's a part of the thing. And yeah, let's see. It also added a bit of diversity, I guess, to the world of Naruto.
I guess my favorite character would be Lucky G. Have any idea? Lucky.
Good question.
We can't choose a favorite character for part 2 or for you for life. You're gonna have to.
How about Pain? How about one of the villains for life? One of the villains that were least sucky or something like that.
Least sucky, you said?
Least sucky?
The least sucky. Least sucky. Kasame. Kasame was no, I like the villains actually. I do like the villains, more or less. Kasame was pretty cool. He killed himself like an honorable ninja, because this is a ninja series, everyone. I digress. Again, Sorcery got a cool ending until he brought back for a nicer ending, which sounds messed up out of me, because like, you got a tender ending. No, you need a tragic ending. Tragic. I want tragic. But his character made more sense for tragic, but oh well.
What about Devil?
I like him. I like the fact he died with his own art. Bagasta.
But anyway, pick your character.
My favorite, I guess my favorite would be Kakashi. Maybe because he did have the most development, and when you really think about it, I mean, yeah, you got the development with Naruto and Sasuke, but those are just a little bit of pain in the ass, especially when they revolve each other. The Sasuke dad. I remember that time we met each other back in a very long time ago childhood, because that's the only thing I would remember. Yeah, I guess. Cool. Sure. You're my friend. Me too. And yeah. So Kakashi feels more captivating in compare, because like you got again you
like there was more better payoff.
Yeah, there was more better payoff. You got the team set become Team Kakashi. Sounds cool in my opinion. You got him with the Mangekyo Sharingan, makes you question, but it was cool how he does that Mangekyo Sharingan, and he was very essential to the team until he knocks himself out. Then we introduce Yamato. Then you got with him dealing with pain. He did a really hell of a job. Then he met his father. It was very sweet and tender. Anyway, the whole I think it was only anime. Yeah, probably was only anime where before Kakashi died. He sees everybody. He sees his own team, his old team, Minato. You see everybody jump away. Rin jump away, and then Obito give him a thumbs up to say, you're the one that changed my life. Then he jumps away. It was like very sweet, very charming, I guess. And then he was a candidate for Hokage. They should have went with that, honestly, but oh well. You got Tsunade get the Hokage back, the title, I mean. Then you got the whole him dealing with Obito. It felt like the combination of everything. The only part that bothered me was the whole, what? Hey, Obito, you die. But I have a second thought. You do? Yeah. I'm going to go back to save Kakashi and help him out with one more time. Somehow I break the entire...
That's the only thing where I'm like,
That part is where it messed up everything.
Yeah, I kind of just wish Kakashi just kept the Sharingans in a more natural way and not have them disappear at the end.
Yeah, but it's so ridiculous. It's so asinine how that one chapter with the coolest guy ever ended with Obito having a closure, having a good closure. Met his girl, well, not his girlfriend, but his love of his life in the afterlife, and now they're just gonna watch Kakashi and see how he wins. But then the very next chapter is completely like a different writer. It's like some comic book or some episodic series that has different writers. It felt like that. Like, wait a minute. Why all of a sudden the tone has changed drastically? It felt like it was a good ending. Like if you're watching the anime version, it would have been like a good way to end the anime and then have a very sad song. Let it all out, let it all out. I don't know, anything. So instead, the very follow-up is like, wait, I should go back home. Home? Well, more like Kakashi. I want to help him one more time. Like, where are we going with this one? Why the afterlife is talking like it's still a life? And then you got that moment. But I'm not even gonna go there. Point is, Kakashi did have a lot of cool moments. The reason, and he's the sole reason why he's the sole reason why Kishimoto has to say, damn, I gotta downplay his screen time because he's more popular than Naruto. That's not even a joke. That's the truth. So that's how good he is. Yeah, I'm done.
You know, it's actually kind of funny because I was actually going to pick Kakashi myself. The same points that you brought up for life as to why Kakashi is my favorite character, and I would say it's a little cheating to include the anime on this, but the Anbu filler arc. Watching that filler, it's one of the best filler arcs in Naruto.
Uh-huh.
I would even argue you could take that into consideration and say it could be canon, but it's kind of like seeing Obito's side of the thing after Rin died, only you got to see it from Kakashi, and the shit that he had to go through. Like, I felt bad for him in Kakashi Gaiden, but adding this was like, it was another level, because he was dealing with the fact that, oh, Obito's not the only one who's dead. I quote-unquote, killed Rin, and now I gotta deal with that for the rest of my life, and the fact that he kind of had to go down the dark road without actually going down the dark road. But the fact of the matter is, he was merciful. Like, he went out of his way and he said, no, fuck everything. I need to do this myself. That's kind of my little stance on adding in Kakashi. And even past the ending, he's probably one of the few characters to me who I actually still enjoy to this day. And just like some of the reasons that For Life brought up, like his combat capabilities, where he started off from the beginning, where he kind of ends off at. The whole Kage thing was something I really was wanting to see, though. I feel like how it came about at the ending, it could have been after the Pain arc, in my personal opinion, but hey. So, explanation a little short on my end, but that's my reason why I'm picking Kakashi as my favorite. Which... okay, it was supposed to be least favorite character. For the next one, I'm changing that. Most disappointing character. And I already know who I'm picking. Sakura.
Unanimous decision. Unanimous decision.
It's probably going to be...
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It's not Sakura only. It's the entire female cast. It's a unanimous decision.
Well, you can also go with Obito and Naruto himself. Really?
This is not SJW talk. I don't even think SJW even maybe they did exist around Naruto's time. I don't even know. Doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. If the author,
they're just starting during Naruto's time.
Yeah, but whatever. If the writer, the author, the mangaka established, boy, I'm not good at writing female character, then it is true. Then
he shows it with everyone.
He said it himself. He said it himself. If he said it himself, then we have the right to say that is one of the problems, because he said it himself. It's not like we're looking too deep into the writing. We're not looking too deep. He said it himself. That's like saying that's like saying oh, Naruto. That's like saying I can't think of an example, but like saying like Naruto is a very deep character, and then Kishimoto will flat out say, I don't know where these people got the idea from. All I wanted to do is just write him as a character that says I want to be Hokage. Simple as that. But like, I guess we're looking too deep. But then that's our fault. But we're not looking too deep with the female character. Kishimoto said it himself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go. You can start now. I'm sorry.
No, but like, I mean, the only female character I feel was actually substantial, even though she didn't really have a lot to do outside of the mid arc between the 5 Kage arc and the war arc was Kushina. That's the only one I think.
Well, for me, I'd say the best developed of the female characters would be Ino. Particularly, the stuff in the war she had was quite good. I think that, in many ways, built her up as like probably the most developed of the female characters for me, at least.
But yeah, Sakura though. I mean, look, if you guys have been on the history of my channel since the beginning, I always defended. I made seven videos on Sakura, and I was substantial on each specific point. And when thinking about it in hindsight, I cannot believe not the amount of time and energy I spent on those videos, because I'm proud of those videos, but when you're thinking about it in hindsight and seeing what Sakura was able to do, again, the beginning of part 1 to end of part 1 was good. I liked her. Sakura's character was going from the beginning of part 1 to the end of part 1. Part 2, we're on a high note with Sakura. We are. Yeah, she has a standstill for a while, but then she kind of picks herself back up again a little bit during the pain arc, sort of, and then a bit of a slump in the 5 Kage arc is we don't talk about that. And then she gets her due in the war twice, actually, and then it collapses. It collapses hard because of the ending. Not just the ending. 693. Yeah. I'm not even going to go into detail about that one. That chapter alone. I mean, yeah, I was kind of deceiving myself when it came to that chapter, but that chapter alone is a prime example as to why I was kind of disappointed in Sakura's character. And more than anything, the ending, when you see Sakura, it shows you that from the start of the series to the end of the series, nothing changes. I mean, yeah, combat capabilities, yes, Sakura is able to do stuff, which I like, but for me, it's more than just the combat. I like to get down to the nitty-gritty with the character. And as a character, when you look at it from the beginning of part 1 to the end of part 2, there's nothing. There is, honestly, yeah, there was something there, end of part 1, and then, say, the beginning of part 2. After that, there's just nothing. But I'll go into more detail when we talk about the ending. But what about you guys? Most disappointing character in part 2.
First, I just want to
name Naruto. No, that's good. So you want to go first, Blue Star?
Nah, you can go first. I will.
How about we let the person who will have the least amount of explanations go first before we let the 2 ramblers go on first.
That's true.
So let me say my thoughts before either of these 2 ramblers go on. So
For life, we're now a duo. For life, we're now a duo.
Yeah. So my least favorite character in part 2 would have to be Kabuto. For the simple reason of him being one of 2 Deus Ex Machinas to get Sasuke out of his funk from his ass whooping by Madara. It's like, okay, so he's trapped in a genjutsu that he should not get out of because of the way his character has been throughout the series, and yet somehow Kishimoto just says, oh, well, you know what? I need a way for Sasuke to get out of his little pickle against Madara, so alongside Karen, I'm gonna have Kabuto come right fucking back and use his snake penis to heal him. And yes, he uses his snake penis to heal him. It's gone. I already made a long rant about it back when that first chapter came out. If you want to look the Naruto podcast for that particular podcast, for that particular chapter, be my guest. But overall, I'm just gonna say, Kabuto in part 2, during the war arc, he was actually kind of, one of the few saving graces about it, just being the man behind the man behind the man. Just, all being in the shadows in the background. He never really had no reason to fight, but he did have every other reason to blackmail Obito into letting him in. But then he goes up against Sasuke and Itachi, and it all culminates to Itachi trapping him supposedly forever, in a cave. And that should have been it. He should have just been left there to rot and suffer punishment for what he did for all his actions in part 1 and all his actions in part 2. Like, why is the guy that, why does the guy who religiously served Orochimaru suddenly get redemption towards the end? It makes no sense.
Not to mention, he literally raised the dead.
Exactly. He's one of the two parties responsible for the horrible chain of events that took place. But whatever. What's done is done, and all I can really say is that's why Kabuto is my least favorite character. Just the way he was handled at the very end. It's dumb. So fucking dumb.
Yeah, that's see, because of you saying that, I guess you could say it's tough to choose one and only disappointing character, because quite frankly, there's a lot, honestly. Yeah. Kabuto is among one. Definitely Kabuto among one. It's like
for me, I have like 2 characters for both male and female disappointing, and 1 character I absolutely hate, but I'll let you go first for life.
Oh, go on. No problem. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't joking when I said about the whole Kabuto. He built up a lot between him and Naruto. It felt like it was supposed to be those two to fight each other. He felt like it was going to be the secret final boss, if anything. And then that part happened with the Itachi mix-up. It's like nobody ever dreamt of Kabuto versus Itachi. Maybe a very, very, very down underneath of this fanfic world. But other than that, I never dreamt of it, and I never really thought of it.
And being Kishimoto's version of a fanfic way of getting Sasuke and Itachi to team up in a fight. Go on.
Right, exactly. For the sacrifice. So to pick the most disappointing character, well, I would go with Sakura, because you start off strong. She had one of the better battles, one of the best battles of the series. In the second arc, it was more of an emotional connection, which is fine. That's fine. I don't mind that, because again, I'm all thrills with character development. Then the third arc, she's absent with one teary part. Fourth arc, stuff. Fifth, pain is the whole please save us with whole folding hands and all that stuff. But that's fine, I guess. She did some things there. Then the Kage Summit arc is where the downhill spiral begins. Especially it felt like we went to status quo with her. The whole nonsense with the fake confession to Naruto is still confusing as hell. No matter what attention you try to figure out what is Kishimoto was writing in there in the first place, and if it is the attention of like just to lie for the sake of lying, why the confession out of all ways, And of course, when you look at the final arc and there's no real payoff for it, or maybe there is, but it's still in the bad terms, then that means that thing was just a horrible mess. It's just one horrible mess that utterly destroyed her character. What destroyed her character is that she developed the idea that, you know what, I no longer want to help Naruto. This is between Naruto and Sasuke. Then what are you doing here? What exactly are you were developing for? Yes, you could have other means, but the problem is that was your only mean, and you destroyed that by saying, "I just gotta let Naruto and Sasuke handle it." That's unbelievable. Just downright sabotage, downright suicide, downright
character assassination.
There you go. I was looking for that word. That's what I was trying to install. So yeah, that was the character assassination in a nutshell. that one line, that 2 panels, which is pretty much 1 panel, really. That 2 panel right there just destroy everything that we have to care about Sakura. Once she destroyed that, we have nothing to care about her. We can only hope for any action, anything. And then if 4 arc happens, I'm not even gonna go over everything about it except for 693, where she gets knocked out easily and she never had another action again. And then in the very last part, not the ending 800, but this 800, 700, but 699 pretty much tells you that she really has no character. She really has no dream. She rather follow Sasuke to the end of time because she has nothing to dream about. It's not like, I wanted to be the greatest doctor in the world. And then I want to follow Sasuke. So that's like, well, you're abandoning your dream. I guess that's bad too. But the fact that you have the nerve to say, like, let me follow you pretty much says, like, you really have no character to begin with. That's just sad.
Honestly, a better Sakura is Toka from Tokyo Ghoul.
Pretty much. Better Sakura. Yeah, pretty much. It's
hands down.
Yeah. So, bottom line, Sakura, disappointing character by a large margin. Probably the most unanimous decision. I know I say this a lot of time, but honestly, if you really do care about Sakura just once ounce a bit, yeah, you want to argue, oh, he got Sasuke. That's fine, I guess. Even if it's under the bullshit means. Like, it's not even about, like, pairing war. You rather him.
It has nothing to do with the whole pairing thing.
It's not the pairing war. It's just the way.
Minded. Let's see. Honestly, I don't think none of us would have minded if Sakura ended up with someone else besides Sasuke. She could end up with Sai, Lee, or even Ino if you wanted to go all Yuri.
Or she could just whatever.
She could still go with Sasuke, but we need a story of redemption.
Like a definite reason behind why.
Yeah, we need a story of redemption. Like, you look, as simple the story is for Fairy Tail, at least they do the most simple idea to go with and deal with it. Like, okay, you know what we need? We need this character to redeem himself. All right, fine, we do that. And it's like common sense. It's common sense to make the character redeemable. Make the common sense to redeem them, and then start passing along. Like, okay, he's working things out. He still blames himself for all the past action, but at least he's trying so hard. There is no try hard for Sasuke. No. We just know he said, my bad for everything, and then he just walks out. That's it. It's like, all right, that's cool. You may kill that ninja, that cloud ninja, because he was spying on you. You may have done this. You may help Kakashi for a bit. You may help Orochimaru for a bit. You may knock out so many damn guys. You may have done this and that. You kind of technically kill a lot of characters off. But you know what? Hold me. That's the ending.
Okay. Well, I have two characters I have two characters I have that I'm going to label as disappointing. But before that, I want to do a mini rant about the character I hate at the moment, and that is Hinata Hyuga, because a complete obsession with Naruto throughout part 2. And the only time when she got a little bit of action was either against that brief skirmish with Pain, if you could call that thing, where she gets one-shotted, and then later 8 Trigger, and then she fights that one Ten Tails clone. We don't even get to see her use this twin lines fist, which there's been that she's been that the manga has been hyping up about. But anyway, but the one thing that I've concluded about Hinata is that she was a complete waste of a character, and the only thing that she was there for in existence was to be a setup for Naruto and Neji's fight. Pretty much have her used as setup for having her get the living daylights of her beaten out by frickin' Neji, just so Naruto would have a reason to go and beat him up in the final round of the tuning exams. She's literally, that's it. Setup. No interesting characteristics, nothing like that. The only thing is her backstory, and that's about it. Of the two characters I'm going to find disappointing... Okay, I'm going to get Sakura out the way for the female characters, because in many ways... When we see... Now, there was always problems with how Sakura was developed in the beginning, given the fact that the only thing we knew about her was that she liked Sasuke, and that was the only goal that we saw at the time. we never learned anything about her goals outside of being, being a ninja. Let's see, Sasuke, about being a ninja. Why'd she want to be a ninja? All that stuff. Let's see, who are her parents and stuff. Heck, we don't even learn who her parents are until a freaking movie, which is just like, Which, fun enough, we learn that her parents pretty much look like pretty much another Naruto parallel, though the difference is the hair color is reversed. She started off really well. That fight with Sasori was amazing in the beginning of part 2. And then we went to the new Team 7 arc. She didn't get a fight. She got knocked out by Naruto's attack when he attacked Kabuto and stuff. Afterwards, she was recklessly charging to try and get Naruto to snap out of his tailed beast thing. And anyways, I actually kind of liked the scene because it showed how much she began to care of Naruto and stuff. And it led to the Yamato Sakura, even I can tell that you're, And whenever there was a potential for action later in that arc, but either against Kabuto or Sasuke, it was either interrupted by Sai and then later Orochimaru. I do like for the fact that in the new Sai arc, the new Team 7 arc, when the confrontation with Sasuke, she was willing to punch him. And honestly, given that everything that happens later in part 2, I honestly wish we got a scene where we had Sakura punching Sasuke, the living daylights out of him, and sending him like 50 feet away in the air, but that did not happen, sadly, which really kind of pissed me off. And then afterwards, we don't get really anything of her at all, really, for the next few arcs, because, when it looks like, oh hey, Team Yamato is about to take on Kakuzu. Nope, Sakura and Sai have to go back up Hidan. Oh wait, Shikamaru has already taken care of Hidan. And then later, Naruto takes down Kakuzu for most part by himself. And then, when you get to like the the Hunt for Itachi arc, I'm going to call it the Hunt for Itachi arc. The one kind of confrontation you actually see with like Naruto and his group is against Toby, but that is completely done for most part off screen. And then when you finally get to the pain arc where there's all these potential fights, like heck, the opening and the Ninja Storm 2 game show two potential ones that can go down, like the K9's Girls versus Conan, or Tsunade, Sakura, and Shikamaru versus Pain. But the only thing that you get in the manga is that she one-shots a summoning giant centipede, which was kind of downplayed in the anime because you had in the anime 2 extras, which you had Shikamaru take them both, the other 2 out, which is kind of frustrating. And when you finally get to the Kage Summit arc, it looks like brief little action between Team 7 versus Omi and Karu, but that ends quite briefly because, oh hey, Sasuke's a member of the Akatsuki, and you have Sakura crying and all that stuff. Well, to be fair, it's understandable because, hey, your former, the guy that you had a crush on as a childhood and the one you consider a dear teammate has gone and become a part of this terrorist organization that attacked the village and all that stuff. And then when you get the stuff with Sai telling what's been going on with Naruto when he got beaten up just to try and defend Sasuke, and find out that, hey, the dude's in love with you and all this guilt stuff, and looks like she's about to try and set things right. You get to the confession thing. Now, the confession is so controversial that, I had some time, when I first read it, I had a hard time reading it because I had no idea what was going on. Now, on one hand, depending on how it could have been handled later on, it could have been a very good thing, because at least in terms of development between Naruto and Sakura, you could have had them having their first kind of argument, but it didn't go well and all that stuff. And then you had finally her, vowing to kill Sasuke by herself. She knocked out her other teammates, which is probably by a kind of reckless move, all that stuff. But then you have her finally about to confront Sasuke and try and kill her. She hesitates at first, and then gets stabbed from behind, gets saved by Kakashi, and when she has another attempt to try and kill him, she hesitates because he can't do it. Now, on one hand, I don't mind that she hesitates to kill, her old teammate, but honestly, I wish there was just like a frickin' fight before that, because at least that way, you at least would have her doing something, and you would at least seen her willing to try and kill Sasuke, even if it would have pissed off Naruto. and before being saved by Naruto at the very end. Let's see. You don't really see her in like the Turtle Island arc, which is maybe a brief scene where she tells Naruto that Tsunade has recovered. Okay, fine. I mean, for the most part, it's just focusing on Naruto. Meeting Killer Bee, learning to control the Nine Tails, learning about his parents' backstories and stuff, and then three fights with then 2 fights with the Akatsuki met with the other with like Kizumi and Kona, and to conclude those members of the Akatsuki leaving only Setsu and Toby behind, and then all that stuff. Then you get to the war, and there's a lot of potential for some battles there. Either against Sabuzar, Haku, Chio, Sasori. Heck, you can even have her fight against Hanzo for all I care, or even just some random ninja. I don't care. Just have her fight something. But no, first thing when they encounter Zabuzar, she ends up healing wounded ninja, which is okay, fine. But you don't see any action. When you get to like the 10th thing, where she's like getting a love confession from this random stone ninja. The problem with this now is like it remains like when she's thinking of Sasuke, it remains so ambiguous. It can be interpreted in many ways. If it was like, the guy says, well, whoever you must love, it must be a great guy. And when she's like thinking, she looks sad because, she's thinking of Sasuke. That whole scene could have been interpreted, could have been fixed so much better if she had a scene to herself where she's thinking of what the words this stone guy said, saying, whoever you must love must be a great guy. Whoever you fall in love with must be a great guy. And she goes like, great guy, huh? And it's kind of like implying that she's having second thoughts about her feelings for Sasuke, because honestly, given the fact that they try to kill each other at this point, and not to mention Sasuke does not give any toss about Sakura at all. At least the one thing I can say about Sasuke and Karin's relationship, granted who ships Sasuke Karin, is at least Sasuke does somewhat give a damn about. Does give a damn about Karin when he's not going go berserk mode or complete emo thing. Revenge kind of douchey moment thing is that he does actually care and does attempt to try and apologize to King Karin sincerely. And at least with Karin, she doesn't quite fully forgive Sasuke straight away, despite what some fans might actually say. But the only thing I can actually say positive about the 10th scene is when she knocks out that one Zetsu, is that she's responsible for figuring out why all these killings are suddenly happening during the night. But as far as action for day one, that's about it. I think I'm speaking for all of us that I think we'd all rather at least she had an Edo Tensei fight, even if it's just briefly. But hey, there we go. And when we finally get her to reunite with us, Team 7 and stuff during the 10 Tails battle, it's good, it's great. We're getting hyped. She's going to fight in the front lines alongside her teammates. She's getting the diamond seal that Tsunade has. She can summon Kaiotsu. It's all hype and stuff, but as soon as Obito comes and becomes a part of the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, she's sidelined again, except for a bit of healing. Because, like 4Life said, we pretty much gave Obito got the plot convenience that only Senjutsu can affect him. That or Taijutsu, which we only see into, like, Guy. And the next time when she's getting action again is when she attempts to attack Madara, but gets stabbed. And when Naruto quickly retrieves her and Sasuke attacks, Sakura's just thinking, Sasuke, you don't care for me and stuff. And it's like, but at the same time, like, But anyway, and then when you finally get to, like, the Kage stuff, okay, you get her, having a vital moment and, like, rescuing Sasuke working with Obito, which was awesome, by the way, but still, I didn't really like the whole grab thing, that made it look like it was supposed to be romantic, when I wish it wasn't. But then you get this awesome punch scene when she hits Kage in the top of the Kaguya, at the top of the head, and with that cool Team 7 panel moment, but that's about it, because immediately then you have that controversial bit in 693 where she tries to plead her heart out to Sasuke and gets taken out in Genjutsu, despite her being a Genjutsu X, being good at breaking from Genjutsu. But you still kind of cling on to the hope that she would take some part in the fight between Naruto and Sasuke, and you don't, and whatever no matter if you were denying or just was like hoping for like something to happen before it. The thing that finally confirms that this character is assassinated, this character is ruined, is the final scene with her and Sasuke, where she goes all blushing, "Can I come with you?" And then he does that stupid forehead poke thing that Itachi does to Sasuke, and she gets all blushing. So yes, entirely, a potential heroine is completely wasted and reduced to a, let's see, pathetic love interest on the levels of, let's see, the girl from Twilight and the woman from 50 Shades of Grey. God, screw this. But anyway, let's see. As for the let's see, villain's side, I suppose the most disappointing character would be Obito, because when he's like Toby, he's hilarious. When he's pretending to be Madara, he's intimidating. In many ways, one of the things that, let's see, post-Pain Arc Saving Grace was when he was posing as Madara, as this like ruthless mastermind and pretty villain, as he takes on like Danzo's bodyguards, and then later Kona as he ruthlessly kills her, and then when he wants Kabuto to explain Edo Tensei to him, he just ruthlessly snaps someone's neck. So you kind of see this is a guy who will get things done, quite quickly. And I'm pretty certain if it wasn't for his mission to retrieve the Gold and Silver Brothers Nine-Tails chakra, if he stayed on that battlefield, with all those allied shinobi, I'm pretty certain they would all be dead. So you get the epic fights between, him, Kelebi, Kakashi, and Guy. And when the mask gets broken, okay, you get a bit of his backstory. So far, so good. Not going too much, signs that they're there, that it's going to get screwed later on. He stays good up to, the part when he kills Neji and stuff. And then we get back later, and he has, the brief fight with Kakashi. He gets to, okay, my reason is because Rin died because she became the Three-Tails Jinchuriki. And it's just, all this confusing because, wait, Rin died heroically and stuff. If one way you could have fixed this is by having, Rin became a Jinchuriki, the leaf wanted to turn her to a weapon, but instead of being that, she chose to die. So you have Obito angry at the leaf because all that stuff about comradeship and stuff, they don't believe it. They will willingly sacrifice their comrades just for some greater, just for the greater good of the village or whatever. So you could have them become deluded by that, but no. You have a brief fight with Kakashi, which was much done better in the anime, I will say that at least. And then you get, him as the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki, and it's the most dragged out fight in the entire series. I'd probably say it's probably the worst fight in the series. And it's so disappointing how he gets talk no jutsu by Naruto. And his life just keeps getting dragged on until he's finally killed by Kaguya. In many ways, Obito could have been the manga's version of Darth Vader. Instead, he became what would 4Life would probably describe as the whiniest version of Anakin Skywalker. There we go. I'm done. Guys, you there?
Wait, so your two worst your disappointing character was Sakura and who else again?
Obito.
Obito. Oh, really? The coolest guy ever? How could you not like him?
Did you not listen to my rant?
No, I heard you. I was joking, but he's the coolest guy ever.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, that was perhaps the most cringeworthy line. If you didn't think Naruto's character was dead, and up until that point, that would probably be the confirmation.
I guess so.
Or at least the level of stupid the whole talk no jutsu had gotten to. Because I never used to call it talk no jutsu because I didn't want to go that. But after that, I'm pretty sure, okay, yeah, talk no jutsu. It's dumb. But yeah. Pretty much those are my two disappointing characters. And a little mini rant about the character I hate the most in this freaking franchise.
Let us dabble over into a topic I did discuss last year with Part Center versus Naruto. The ending. Where do I start? Let me start off with this. I stayed up the whole goddamn night to witness this finale. I could have passed out. I honestly could have passed out and said, "Let me get some sleep and let me wake up and read in the morning." But I told myself, no, this is the end of an era. You should at the very least stay up and read and see exactly how things are going to go down. And I was looking forward to it. Come when the chapter comes out. I mean, I'm not going to go in great detail about 699 because I feel like that's already been done to death, both in terms of the Manga Wars episode and the Narusaku podcast we did 4 years ago. So, if you want to know my full details on that, you can go there. But I will go ahead and just say this. I have never been so disappointed in a series finale than this. And it has nothing to do with pairings. Let me be specific. In fact, the pairings, in most cases for me, is like of the lowest common denominator. There are so many issues I have with the ending outside of that. What about you guys?
Yeah, the ending. Wow, it's 4 years, and it's still one of the most disappointing things I've ever seen. First off, I didn't even know that it was going to be a double chapter. 699, 700, and 699, 700 all at once. What are you doing, Kishimoto? If you're going to do a double chapter, do a double chapter, but don't make it double length, not actual 2 chapters at once. But then also, it's just the ending. I've already made the rant about this in the Narusaku podcast, but I'll add more thoughts to it. The ending is it's so rushed.
It is.
I think it could have benefited from another 100 chapters of resolution. Like another 100 chapters, but instead Kishimoto, probably to hit that lucky number 7, he had to rush the ending. So 699, we get one of the worst character derailments ever to Sakura.
Mm-hmm.
And then 700, we get an ending that is just confusing.
An advertisement for whatever is supposed to come next.
Yeah, it's confusing. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Like, does it want to conclude the series proper, or does it want to set up, future events? And obviously, hindsight being 2020, it sets up future events. But it really shouldn't have. This should have been the ending. 700 with Naruto's coronation as a Hokage. That's what it should have been. But no, we had to get that. We had to get that later. What do we get? We spend time with everyone's children. What? This isn't. And
this isn't what we signed up for.
Yeah, it's not. I don't care about these kids. I haven't grown an attachment to these kids. If you're going to introduce us to kids, do it in another manga, not in the main series.
Honestly, what should have happened is it should have been like a build-up for like all the other characters, just talking about the inauguration coming up, and then the final pages being Kakashi announcing Naruto as the 7th Hokage. That's what it should have been.
But instead, it's there's a meeting happening, and Naruto-san, don't you dare ruin it. Don't you dare. Don't you. You went ahead and ruined it. Now Daddy's got to talk to you sternly about how he treats everyone in the village like his family. Well, if that's the case, then you suck. You suck at it. You completely suck at it. And it's so disappointing. And I mean, I've read better fan fiction than what I just saw. Like, I couldn't even believe my eyes. Like, first off, I had to find out about the ending not through Manga Panda, not through Manga Stream, but through fucking 4chan. You know, the one place on the goddamn internet where rumors spread up like disease. Oh, here's the final ending. A shot of Sakura being a housewife. What? No, she's fucking. Where's the fucking character development? She trained with Tsunade. And what? She ends up being a house? No, she doesn't. But apparently in Kishimoto's world, she does. Also, apparently in Kishimoto's world, there's a laptop. What? Even though in an interview you once said that anything more powerful than a 16-bit computer would be inconceivable in that world. Like, I can buy skyscrapers. I can buy skyscrapers in Naruto. There's only so much land, and eventually you're just gonna have to go up. But technology advancing to that degree? No, you eliminate so much of the world building that you did just by doing that. It's just not the way you should end things. I mean, fucking Harry Potter did a better ending, showing everyone's kids. Remember that at the end of book 7, we get introduced to everyone's kids. But in there, it's only for what, 5 pages. Yeah. And compared to the manga, which is like, what was it, 15, 20 pages of panels showcasing nothing but kids. Yeah. And what's sad is, what's sad about this ending is that this ending, it tells the readers, you need to look at the supplementary material that's coming out in order to understand this ending. What? No, you don't. You shouldn't. Fucking Star Wars, as much as everyone hates on the prequels and compares them to the originals, and as much as everyone hates on Last Jedi comparing it to the originals, they still tell one coherent story. Whereas the extra stuff, you can read it, but you can read it and it's not necessary. Yeah, exactly. You can go into, and yeah, it's jarring going into episode 2 into episode 3, but wasn't it just as jarring to go into episode 7 into episode 9? I mean, but for Christ's sake, Naruto needs a movie to explain how Naruto and Hinata got together. 5 or 6 novels?
I think it was 6.
Yeah, 6 novels to explain what these characters did before Naruto's coronation. And then the fucking anime had to add on an additional, God, how many episodes? God knows how many episodes. But they had to add on an additional additional episodes until they could reach episode 500. And let's not even get to how the anime ends, which is a fucking wedding arc. What? Yeah. A wedding arc? Really? Are you really going to rip off Dragon Ball's ending?
That's exactly what I was about to bring up. Like, it exactly ends off the same way Dragon Ball did. Although Dragon Ball felt more earned in that respect.
Yeah, and then in Dragon Ball, the anime took the manga's ending to one step further and turned it into a fetch quest arc. And yeah, your mileage may vary on how you feel about that, but it's infinitely better than what Naruto Shippuden did. What was the last 2 episodes? I don't know who to invite. If I invite this person, then this person won't like me. And I must find the perfect gift for these 2. If I don't find the perfect gift, oh boy. And then it's just sad. It's really, really sad. And, it's really sad that you have to rely on the supplementary material just to make sense of the ending. It's bad. Just really, really bad. And this is why I hope that One Piece, that Ichiro Oda learns from Kubo and Kishimoto on how not to end your manga. And I also hope that in My Hero Academia, that Ochako and Izuku, that their love story actually prevails. Like right now, it's actually infinitely 10 times, 100 times better. It's what I should have been. It's what I've been preaching all along that Narusaku should have been. It should have been the all in the family in terms of introducing romance into shonen. But no, that's not what Narusaku did. But it's sure as hell what. What's the ship called? Izu.
Uraka? Let's see. Are you talking about My Hero Academia?
Yeah, what's the ship for Izuku and Ochika?
I think the ship name is. Well, there's two names, but the one I've been hearing about is Green Tea. Oh, that's the
Green Tea.
Green tea.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So hopefully Green Tea.
Disappointed.
So hopefully Green Tea here does better in introducing romance, and it is. It infinitely is. It's treating it like it is. Trust me, my man.
It's been 100 chapter. It's been 100 chapter. Where I've lost track. I only know there was only one and only one fairy in this whole damn series. There is. I find it easier to find it in Kingdom. I find it easier in Gintama. It is.
Nah, but Blue Star and Lucky Chi can back me up on that. It is infinitely. Ochiko and Izuku are an infinitely better couple than Narusaku, Naruhina, or Sasusaku.
I don't want to interfere. But I'll say I agree when after this Naruto has concluded. I would not agree when Naruto wasn't concluded before we enter the war arc, let alone the Kage-sama arc, because the problem with Kishimoto is that he has something that is actually pretty damn interesting. Again, it's one of those cases like maybe if we look in too deep, but you kind of wish he did look at the same level as we did, because it was something that was actually shockingly magical. That could have been like, it could have been a hell of a rebound. But I guess either he missed the opportunity or he decided to say, no, not anymore. I'm going to go with Naruhina and Sasusaku, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do this at this very last minute. So that's the way I see it. Beforehand, I would not agree with you because I felt the foundation was actually more stronger and more like the only thing I did like with the green tea, I guess you could say, is the relatable way of how a nerd gets down with a woman for the first time. Well, not really get down, but more like interact with the girl for the first time, especially how he's like, oh my God, I'm talking to a girl for the first time. Oh my God, first phone call with a girl. Oh my God, this, that I can understand. Everything after that is like the last notable one for me was the whole, you know what? I decided to go with Deku, the name. But that was the only last notable one that is combined together. Now everything else is just basically Naruto 101 again. You know, what a female main heroine needs to think about love story on her own. That's the problem I'm having right now. But let's go back to Naruto. You still got stuff.
I still got stuff. So I'm gonna agree with you there for life that Narusaku laid the foundation, but now I'm hoping that My Hero Academia with Green Tea builds upon that foundation.
It's so funny when you call it that.
I know. Go.
No, but I mean, another pairing I want to actually bring up is Token from Tokyo Ghoul, and Forla can agree. Yeah, Forla can actually agree with me on that wholeheartely.
Yeah, hell, we went beyond. We got 125, damn it. I didn't ask for it, but I got it, and I loved it.
We went more than just a confirmation on that. We went.
You literally got a love scene. You literally got a proper love scene.
Yeah, it's like the Simpsons movie. Oh, you got the Disney scenario. They having those two have a romantic together. Yay, they could kiss each other. Yay, that's romantic. But there's one problem. They're adults. So they're going to do something more than just kissing, guys. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much for us. It's like, oh, it's canon. It's canon. Can't wait for the next chapter to make sure it is 100%. It is, and oh, wow. Okay.
I know. We did a whole podcast on
that. Hey, it was awesome.
So you literally did a podcast on the sex scene.
Basically.
Well, yeah, basically. I mean, but I was happy that I actually understood what I said Kishimoto. I was very happy that I understood what Ishida attended with that scene, because he actually said it himself. Hell, he's the only hell. It was the only chapter that he wanted no one to touch it. He wanted to be in the room, and he took his hard ass time to make every detail of it because he thought that was his finest work in order to portray that emotions, which it really came out through. But anyway, let's get back to Naruto before we get to the hopeful dreams of the future, and then we go back to the down spiral path.
Alright, so who's next?
Oh, you're done? I didn't know you're done.
Oh, I thought you had more to say.
Okay.
Do you want me to go next?
Wait, no, hold on. Let me. Since I was talking too many times, sorry. I might as well get out of the way. Well, first of all, this guy beat me to every known to mankind, so I can't even top that right now about the ending, because the ending again was not good. Yeah, I know I know you will say if you follow Boruto, you'll get more answers. That's true, but I didn't know there was gonna be a sequel, quote unquote, to help me and solve some of the problems I had. For example, why the hell Orochimaru is now good guy? I didn't know that. Why everybody accept them like it's all cool, shake and bake? Where did this happen? But again, it was up to Boruto to tell me that. But I didn't know that. How I supposed to know that? So all that stuff, let's brush that away. Let's not think about this, a Boruto, there's a sequel, anything. Let's just focus on the chapter 700 to be the final piece of Naruto's franchise. If you follow that, then you'll be questioning yourself a lot of things. What happens to this character, that thing? Where's the resolution for everybody? The only resolution you got was Kakashi becoming a Hokage. Again, that's why he's my favorite character in part 2, because at least he got more out of it than anybody else, despite losing his best friend 100% and losing his eye. But at least he got his both normal eyes, pretty much going to having a full circle. Now, as for the ending, everybody got shafted away. But like, screw them. Who cares about those characters? Last time I checked, we all did, but whatever. Then you got the only good part really is the whole Naruto and Sasuke handshake with the headband. That was the only good part. That was, mainly, he said himself
actually was building up on.
Right, and yeah, that's what I was about to say next. The Naruto and Sasuke conclusion is pretty much what Kishimoto has intended all this time. Everything else is whatever that came to his mind as along the way, pretty much. And that's why everything along the way doesn't really.
Or whatever
studio player wants to. So right, exactly. Just toss. Yeah, that's okay. Then just toss anything in there. Blah 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 blah. Basically, Steven said enough. Said, yeah, the ending was not that good. Then the chapter 700 shows up. Didn't care much. It just tells you like everybody's just going to the next generation. Again, we didn't know it was going to have a sequel, but there you go. We do have a sequel, and it's up to you if you like Boruto or not. I'm done.
For me, the Naruto ending was perhaps for the first time ever a series that I was truly disappointed in. And I'm not referring to like series that tend to get cancelled or stuff like that, because they can't help it when they get cancelled.
So you're telling me one more day you read that after Naruto ending?
Let's see. Oh, no, I think I knew about One More Day, but I didn't really... Let's see. But yeah, but I still hated that.
Okay,
but I fully read it.
Clone Saga.
I had to live it, Blue Star. I had to live that. I
didn't live through that like Lucky Cheat. It's something I found out a bit later when I was just getting into comics. And I was like, because I was still like movies and animated series. And when I found out that, One More Day happened, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? But anyway, but I suppose in terms of ongoing series that I was currently reading, Naruto was perhaps the first to ever truly disappoint me. And it was probably to this day, still the worst ending I have ever read. Anyway, Avatar The Last Airbender, ended spectacularly. Harry Potter, lovely ending, all that stuff. But when it came to this series, it was just horrible. Now granted, you could, as disappointing, as the 699 chapter is, there was at least a few okay moments with let's see the narration of the dead and stuff, but let's see, they're mourning, but you could probably tell with all the extra panels they were giving Hinata that okay, yeah, she's important. She's going to end up with Naruto, kind of thing. What really kills that chapter is literally the stuff with Sakura, where how she easily forgives Sasuke after he apologizes, and then the forehead poke thing and asking to come with him. Yeah, character assassination. But there was at least this one sort of touching moment with Naruto and Sasuke with the headband thing. But yeah, and also Sasuke's crimes being excused a bit too conveniently then. But yeah, it's really the 700th chapter that pretty much really enrages me. See, I will admit, when the leaks were first revealed in Tumblr, I was filled with despair. I was hoping they were fan art. I hope they were not true. I was hoping anything but this thing. I thought it was a joke, but let's see. But during the ending, I didn't, for the first time ever, I did not immediately started reading manga chapters in the beginning of the morning. And for the first time, even after all the bad stuff with Naruto, which I gave a pass to at the time, for the first time, I was not looking forward to reading a Naruto chapter. Anyway, and it took me to most of my day in during my functional education college course I was doing at the time. A level 2 art and design thing. But anyway, where I had a bit of a break on the computers, I for one ended up looking at someone's Tumblr page, and yes, the ending was confirmed, and I read the chapters and stuff, mostly in solemn silence because I could not rant or rage because I was in like a classroom kind of thing. Because I was taking a brief kind of little break thing, which is probably naughty of me, I will admit. But anyway, when I went home and all that stuff, I tried to make any excuse for Kishimoto, on that stuff. But I really hated the fact that but when I learned that when he made those comments about women being terrible if they moved on, I went completely enraged, called him a sexist hack. Granted, I think I also got in an argument with someone on Tumblr where I might have ended up calling, some of Bleach's writing with females and One Piece's writing as females sexist. Granted, I probably don't have the same feelings right now, but I guess that's how mad I was at the time. I probably went all what would probably be described as SJW or something like that. But I think with the comments coming from Kishimoto and how every female was a housewife, I'm pretty certain it was completely justifiable at that thing. Heck, I feel like if Naruto was as big as the Avengers, and all that controversy with Black Widow and the Hulk's romance and her having kids and she considered as a monster, and how everyone was kind of just ripping on Joss Whedon for that, saying, you can't be a feminist for this. I'm pretty certain if all that stuff with Naruto was going out right now and everyone saw that in some sort of cinema kind of thing, they would all be going for Kishimoto's head right now. Probably calling him probably calling this the most sexist thing ever, but hey. All the chapter did was, instead of an epilogue, we got a prologue to a Boruto series, and all this other tie and spin-off, some of which that we had, because otherwise we didn't get answers to things like, where's Taka? Where's Orochimaru? Where's Kabuto? How the heck did Sakura have a kid with Sasuke when he's always about outside of the village and stuff? And why the heck does she look like Karin? But anyway. And then it's all these novels and novels, spin-off mangas, and movies to explain it. And For Life and Steve said, you don't use tie-in stuff to explain characters, to explain bits in another medium. That does not work. I mean, you can use it to enchant stories or build up the worlds, like the Star Wars expanded universe does, and all that stuff to the movies surrounding it. And when and I believe even Star Wars fans point out when you try to have all these books build up backstories for characters that should be having screen time in the movies. Phasma is the biggest example at the moment. But you have failed on the movie kind of thing. You have failed on the medium you're trying to tell the story. But yeah, honestly, this ending was the worst. The absolute worst I have ever seen at that point. I'm not sure if anything can top it or the feelings I had at the time, but honestly, let's see. At this time, Naruto was my second favorite franchise of all time, behind Star Wars. Now it is it's now my most disappointed at the moment, even maybe hated. I'm done.
That brings us not to our final topic, but overall thoughts on Naruto, the series. And I'll say this, I still love part 1 to this day. Whatever resentment I have towards Naruto, none of that goes to part 1. In fact, start to finish, part 1 was the bread and butter for me. I would also argue part 2, the first half of it, the issue is the second half. Because I feel like, the only good bit for me for the second half was the whole Kushina arc. I actually really like that. Everything else, though, about the second half of part 2, I think really takes away from all the shine that, the Kazekage arc to the Pain arc had. Honestly, but that's just me. Overall, for Naruto, I'll say this: it's a good series with wasted potential. That's the best way I can describe it. But what about you guys?
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. But at least for me, Naruto, for better or for worse, is a part of my own personal history. So I can't just deny that I've never heard of it or never even watched an episode or read a single chapter on it when I know it's a lie. It's one of the few things that, for better or for worse, was at one point a part of my life. And now that part of my
I'm sorry. No, I was saying, if anything, it's a series that kind of got us to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now that part of my life is over, and all I have to say about it is, it starts off great. Part 2 builds up even more hype, but once we pass the 5 Kage Summit arc, you really shouldn't read anymore or watch any more into it, if only for the sake of your own sanity. But it's not like when Yu-Gi-Oh! Ended and it leads into Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. The spin-offs are directly tied into this, and it's sad that it directly ties into that. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX didn't need all the characters from the first series to help support the new series.
No,
just like what Naruto is doing to Boruto. You got the only 2 permanent characters I can think of that, in fact, even the only permanent character I think of that transitioned from the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Series into Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was Pegasus. And even then, his role was minor, to say the least. But to sit here knowing that I invested a good chunk of my life into something that ultimately ended up being an extreme disappointment. It's sad. It really is sad. It's disappointingly sad. And it frustrates me to no end that I still recommend this series to people, but I tell them, just stop at this certain point. Don't go any further. Everything else before it is great. It has its rocky moments, but it's great. But everything after is not good. And
it just takes a huge dive.
Yeah, it's sad. But well, those are my thoughts on it, at least. But I'll get to my thoughts on the spin-off and other supplementary materials as we go on here, though.
This is about the conclusion. This is about like the overall thoughts of it.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like if you asked me 4 years ago, I would have been saying like a resoundingly no. Do not read this piece of garbage and stuff like that. A lot of negative things. The anime, I can't say don't watch it. Just try to watch the keynotes, the highlights from YouTube videos, especially when they're the one or like the best animated one. Because pretty much the anime is just kind of like One Piece in a certain sense, but you know, I think it's just best to look at the clips. I mean, if you want to watch the anime, go ahead, but you should try to find yourself like a pinpoint of like when not to watch anymore or when to stop watching and try to skip ahead to the real deal. Because part one, yeah, we all experience filler hell. Well, I'm not sure all of us, but we do know what filler hell is.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm one of the survivor of the filler hell because I actually watch all of them.
I did too.
It was something else.
I
It
watched
was something
most
else.
of them until I found out that there was Naruto Shippuden. So I went to that.
Yeah. So,
But I ended up
there's a
watching
filler.
But I pretty much really watched nearly every single episode of Naruto Shippuden. Even the fillers.
Yeah.
Even the worst of the fillers. That includes the
Yeah.
ostrich.
Oh god.
Oh, the ostrich.
And the sumos.
Man.
And the sumos.
And the who?
The sumos. Remember
There's
that one
a sumo one?
episode where Konohamaru was in the village defending the leaf from sumos and he had the allied mom?
Oh, yeah, that. Pretty much, this is the time that we actually get to see the other mothers because we never got to see Ino's. I think Chocho. Well, I said Chocho.
We saw Choji briefly.
Choji. Huh?
We saw Choji's briefly in the beginning of the anime for the Asuma arc. Sorry, go on.
Yes, I remember that. No, you're right. That was the one I was about to say, but you corrected it. So,
Sorry.
but yeah, if you would have asked me back then, it would have been a resounding no, blah blah blah, because I was really upset because I was following this series for a long time. If you hear me in part one discussion, you would know how my origin started off. And the worst thing that you wanted to have is a series that's like, I'm not saying everybody gotta like your series, everybody gotta think your series that you love or you remember a long time ago or something that you've been a childhood of it's a favorite. It's like everybody got to feel the same thing. It's like that's not that's impossible. Everybody's gonna hate something. Everybody's gonna like something over the other one, and so on. So that's life itself. It's not, but with that said, I wouldn't say I feel embarrassed if I say, "Oh, this is my favorite series," but it's more like you kind of just wish the series that and it will end on such a good note that you would say, like, I feel proud that I've been following this series for so long, and I feel proud that I invested my time with it. That's the feeling I like to have at least. It's kind of like how I felt with Full Metal Alchemist when it finished. It's pretty much like a moment of everybody just stand up and cheer, a standing ovation moment because it was just that good. It was that sublime. It was like masterful. It's not perfect, but it was just incredible journey that we have gone through. So with Naruto, I guess in a sense you could say it's a incredible journey in terms of like the fact that you have been investing for so long. It's just that you kind of wish the quality would at least remain above average. And it is a subjective idea. It is. But still, it's kind of like you kind of wish you still have that feeling of the old days where it's like, man, part one was so amazing. It was a great way to introduce me. It felt like this series could have been one of the best quality and of course the popularity, and it still is popular, no doubt. It's just that you kind of wish the quality would be the exact same wavelength, or if not, represented in a good way. You don't want to be like for 50 Shades of Grey. It's like it's popular, but by God, why? So you don't want that kind of case. You want a case of like it's popular because it's popular, and the story itself is damn good. You should go for it, kind of that kind of way. So with that said, I say the series is still not the best. It's still not that good. But there are highlight moments to look over, and there's some parts that you should try to check it out for yourself. I mean, it won't hurt you too bad to read them, but it does fall under the concept of throwing your brains out the window and just enjoy the ride. Because in that sense, it will actually probably be entertaining in some wavelength, But when it comes to trying to remain consistent or try to think over the outside the box, something that's like, trying to be very depth and very detailed with his story, the lore and everything about it, that's something that may affect you heavily in the wrong direction. So if that's the case, then well, again, treat this like a Hollywood movie and just read along for the entertainment. You probably will be entertained. Definitely be entertained with part one, and the part two early material. It's just that I wish it was entertaining as a whole, from the story, from the characters, from everything about it, rather than just the actions, the fighting, the combat, the flashiness. The when it comes to action, the flashiness, I guess in the sense it still keeps up. It just gets more flashy and it does get tiring, but at least it does have a cool pose moment, cool moments that when it translates to a video game, it's actually pretty damn stellar to be like, yeah, I like that moment. Like Dragon Ball Z in a sense, but Dragon Ball Z is more faster paced, so that's why it's more memorable in a quick sense and more like much more tolerable. I think that's their huge advantage of it as well. So despite the writer himself keep on forgetting on certain aspect, but still the point is it's just that it was much more tolerable because you get the approach and the direction of Dragon Ball. With Naruto, it felt like there was one direction and then it discarded into turn into another. It's like, we used to do. It's like it's kind of. I don't know how the movie will be like, but think as like going reverse in terms of when the movie is made for the Transformer franchise. It's like starting with Bumblebee, and then you go to the next Transformer movie, going backwards, and you'll be like, why the first one felt like it was very emotional connection tie, then all of a sudden it's all flashy explosion. It's kind of like that. That's the way I see it for Naruto. It used to be emotional connection, then it becomes explosion. So in that regard, again, the action you may be entertained still. Everything else you got to be on the cautions that it may not deliver the way you wish to have. But other than that, I can't say it's the worst series. I never said it's the worst series. But maybe I did in the past, but probably because I was just going on rampage. I don't know. But it's definitely not the worst series. But it could have been so much more.
When it comes to Naruto, even though I bloody still hate the series at times, I still go back to it, even just to see like a couple of fight scenes or stuff like that. Or just curious about what's going on in Boruto, even though I don't fully read it, I just skim through it. I don't know. Even though I know there is no way the series could like reverse any of the damage it has done to itself. And the likes what you could have done with like at least with like DC and Marvel comics, they can always reverse the damage they do at some point. At least, but one example would be Spider-Man with One More Day, but not getting into there. Even though, let's see, I am so frustrated with the series. Let's see, I still haven't gotten rid of all my Naruto stuff. The games, the DVDs, and the volumes. I just haven't played, read or watched them and stuff. Now, granted, I'm not sure if I want to sell them or not, or that stuff, or do I want to complete my collections? Because, honestly, I think the best way, because most of my Naruto volumes are pretty much during the war and slightly during like the part 2 stuff and like some of the part 1. So I'm wondering because the best I can think of completing the series is like going up to at least volume 71, but I don't want to waste all that time, all that money buying like volumes and stuff. I mean, if I can find, let's see, maybe if I find them cheaply in charity shops, but at the same time, I also kind of want like quality edition because I'm kind of a perfectionist in that kind of sense, at least with my collection. But yes, in many ways, it's like, why did I invest so much money into this series? For once, my mom was right on me spending money on comics and stuff because this series ended so badly. As far as I can tell, you either end at part 1, Pain Arc, or just as Naruto saying goodbye to his father. That's the only way I think you can end the series without having to go through all the stuff that made it was like rubbish afterwards. I mean, those are the only ways you can get like a satisfying conclusion without looking at the endings. Will I ever get back into the series as I used to? I doubt it unless Kishimoto makes an alternative universe where we can have Narasaku stuff, maybe. But honestly, not really. I mean, part of me still cares for this series and stuff, but I think I've moved on. I've moved on to let's see, MCU stuff. I've moved on to One Punch Man, My Hero Academia, which is great because this means I still got stuff to talk to you guys. I will admit, and I have to admit, I am glad I joined the fandom because I went through the experience of becoming absolute fanboy / shipper who couldn't take any criticism to taking a bit better criticism and having more proper discussions. Well, granted, I'm pretty sure 4Life would probably have a thing to say about me when it comes to taking criticisms of my favorite series, but we're not here for that. But yeah, honestly, it's an experience that I both enjoyed, which I still yearn for, and still regret, and still hate, but I suppose I am glad I did get into this series originally. I'm just so sad how it ended.
We made a mistake on letting him into our group.
Oh, screw you. Screw you for that.
Okay,
How is it that Steve is the nicest one to me? How is it that Steve is the nicest one to me?
so we'll skim through the legacy stuff.
I can just sum up my thoughts on the legacy stuff real quick here. The novels, haven't read them, and I never will read them. Blast! I saw that. It sucks. Naruto Gaiden, the Seventh Hokage, and the Scarlet Spring. I actually read that as it came out. It was like a soap opera. Dun dun! Sarada's mother might actually be Karen. Oh wait, no, it's not. And for the dumbest reasons ever. Ugh. Boruto the movie.
Haven't seen through the danger.
Boruto the movie. Haven't seen it. Don't plan on seeing it. Boruto anime. Haven't seen that. Don't plan on seeing it. The games. My favorite games are as follows: Naruto Clash of Ninja 1 and 2, Naruto Ultimate Ninjas 1, 2, 3, and Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja 4. And then I can't even. And that's when I stopped playing Naruto games, actually. So, but I am aware of the other games' existence. I have looked at playthroughs of those games, and I admit some of them are good, some of them are meh. But I couldn't really tell you which ones are my favorite of, let's say, the HD generation.
The Shinobi Striker. No.
To be honest, I think that's the only Naruto game that's come out since Storm 4.
It is.
Yeah.
But honestly, from the looks of it, doesn't even have any story mode kind of thing. I don't know. It feels like it's just like an online fighting stuff.
Alright, so what are your guys' thoughts?
Well,
on the okay, you go.
Oh, okay.
You go first.
You go first. Okay. I go first. Well, the legacy wise, let's see. Read the spinoff. I really didn't like it. The animated made it better, but yeah, I don't like the main topic. It's kind of just dumb, and they never really explained about the whole villain thing. But whatever. The movie, I thought it was fine. They had something neat. Well, oh, by the way, in terms of movie, I meant Boruto. Excuse me. In terms of the Boruto movie, I thought it was neat. It has some parts that I like. Unfortunately, the third act kind of discarded way too quickly. It's like, oh, okay, we got to get to the action because everybody only wants action league now. So then we got the action. Overall, I enjoyed it, but it was all right. I mean, I enjoyed it at least, so it is what it is. The Last. No, I do not like that movie. I end up watching, or technically watching from afar because Blue Star lost a bet because Word Trigger came back this year.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, he lost. So I technically saw the movie again, and I remember again. The movie still sucked, and it's not just the pairing. Trust me, it's far more than that. I even made a post, I made a long essay post why the movie was awful. I made it, and I could actually find it and just put it in the link somewhere because everybody keep reblogging it every time out of nowhere. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. Huh.
All right.
Kind of wish I remembered that.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lastly, Boruto in the anime, it's all right, I guess. Some moments are cool, some moments are fine, some moments are really on nonsense. It is what it is. Yeah, I
And the
got that's all
games?
I got.
And the games?
Games. Storm 4, I don't have the game. I seen the game. It's weird how the first half is all anime cutscenes. Well, not really animated, but more like anime screenshot cutscenes. Only for the last half to have actual cutscenes with the in-game graphic engine. So I have no idea what was that about. The game seems cool. Seems like an all-star game, which is fine. Yeah, I mean, Storm series, they're fun. They're fun. I'll give them that. But I got tired out by part 3 in a way. I got tired by part 3. So Shinobi Striker didn't appeal to me. It looks kind of cheap. It looks like a free to play game for the PS4 and the Xbox One, but it's not. So I don't know. Maybe it is good. I don't know. You tell me. So I'm done with that.
All right, Blue Star, what are your thoughts? And please, for the love of God, keep them short so that we can hear what the chief
Okay. Novels, haven't read them. Everything I hear about them ends to enrage me and stuff. Let's see. Mainly just try and justify all the BS stuff on the ending stuff. The last, I saw that due to a bet I lost with Full Life, which you just mentioned, and my God, it was worse than what anything people described me. I almost really lost my reactions to nearly everything that is in that movie. Would have gone a bit louder, but it was very late in the morning. Let's see, and I didn't want to disturb my neighbors. But yes, the only scenes I enjoyed was that brief narration at the beginning that was pretty well done, and that fight scene where you had Sakura, Sai, and Shikamaru team up against that giant crab. The Scarlet Spring thing, haven't read it. Everything I hear about it is bad, and it pretty much, and for James S. Cassidy has confirmed that Sada is Carrion's daughter. So yeah, it's like that. But let's see, the Boruto movie, haven't seen it. Saw some brief scenes of like the manga from the Boruto, but yeah, honestly, I'll probably watch it at some point. Probably when For Life and Lucky Chief forced me to. Anyway. Let's see, Boruto manga and anime. Let's see, only see bits and pieces of it. Usually just skim it. Let's see, but honestly, not really interested. There we go.
And the games?
Games, I love the Storm series. Let's see, I still have the ones I collected. I have nearly all of them except for, let's see, Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'll ever get back to playing them again, but who knows. But they were pretty good games. For the most part. Now, granted, I do feel like they needed to work on a few things in the RPG stuff, but hey.
As for me, novels, I only checked out one, and even then I kind of skimmed through it. I checked the soccer novel out, and I was like, whatever. The last, we don't talk about the last. I've made a whole review based on that, which is still golden. So if you guys want to check out my full thoughts on the last, you can watch that video. Gaiden had some interesting things. Ultimately was a disappointment. Boruto the movie, I did enjoy. But like what For Life said, third act kind of does derail what the first two acts were going up into. Boruto anime, it's okay. Not bad, not terrible, just okay. So that's why I can put it. Games, I did play Storm 4 recently with a friend. Was okay, wasn't bad. I still prefer Storm 3 though, so it's kind of where my stance lie. And that's honestly just my thoughts on the legacy. I don't have much to say on it other than that. And the final thing I want to touch on is, how does Naruto affect us getting in a newer series?
It makes me hesitant, to be honest. I'm lucky with My Hero Academia. I'll say that much. I'm also lucky with One Punch Man.
Okay, you can say that.
Yeah, I'm also lucky with One Punch Man, but now the only other anime and manga I still follow now because I grew up watching it is One Piece. I want to see how it ends so I can close that chapter in my life. Otherwise, as far as anime is concerned, I'm just gonna now have to rely on word of mouth whether it's good or not. Which is why I completely avoided Sword Art Online. Because people ended up telling me it's good in the beginning, but then it gets really, 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 really crappy. And that's all I have to say about getting into newer series.
Well, I haven't seen the series, to be honest, but I don't think it's crap based on pairing, is it?
No, it's not. Just on how OP the main character can be, and it's just like, well, can't these fights just last like 3 seconds? But no, they have to be dragged out. That sort of thing.
Well, welcome to Isekai series, my friend. Well, I mean, ask James S. Cassidy if he still loves Overlord.
He does. He still does.
Yeah, then he should know. He should know how. He should know. Then you should know how OP character in every Isekai series works.
It's how Overlord is how it should work. Turn an anti-hero into a villain. That's how it should work.
I know.
But anyway, that I have to rely on word of mouth to get me into new series, because otherwise, I just don't want to invest my time anymore. So who else?
I guess I'll go. Yeah, funny story about that. I pretty much have I wouldn't say rock bottom. That's kind of over the top for in this concern. But it's more like I just didn't really think about much of anime or manga. Maybe and around that time I only focused on Naruto, so it was like, no big loss. So going outside, going hanging out with my girlfriend and all that stuff. She's the one that pretty much helped me back into going back to anime and manga, but this time more variety. And out of all series to start off is Haikyuu, this volleyball sports series. And because she really wanted me to watch that, I'm like, all right, okay. And somehow, I don't know why it has to be that series. Now, granted, that series is marvelous. It's pretty much the second coming of Slam Dunk in his own style, but that's a different story. So yeah, it was like resurrection in me for anime and manga enthusiastic. So I was like, I feel reborn. I feel like I want to start exploring this time instead of like sticking to one series and then just be downer. If I would have done that, I mean, I still follow One Piece. I follow One Piece anime and manga, but just one series. Everything else, whatever. It doesn't matter to me anymore. But like now it's just like it becomes an eye opener. She started to introduce me more, which is funny because it's probably like one of the few times I realized, she really knows her stuff, even though she's doesn't really watch or read. I would say most of them, a good amount of them, but she does knows quality and all that stuff. So it was one funny way to figure out that out. I guess you could say, I found out she's a closet otaku in a sense. But anyway, so yeah, I was introduced to more of the other series, Haikyuu. I remember in the same forum, everybody was talking about, oh man, Gintama, I cannot wait, Gintama. I remember hearing about Gintama from my best friend, like around 2014. I remember hearing about it 5 years ago from that prior year. So I was like, I remember hearing that. I remember that fifth opening was very confusing because I remember the other opening, they were all a comedy, but fifth opening seems so serious and badass for some reason. I don't even know if that's supposed to be a joke or that's really true. Turns out it's really true. It can be that badass. But again, those hype was going everywhere. Then the Tumblr hyping up Tokyo Ghoul. And I keep making a joke about like, why am I not reading Tokyo Ghoul every sentence? Which I got it from Nostalgia Critic, because like every time they talk about not Alone in the Dark. Yeah, was it Alone in the Dark? It was one of the horrible movies from Uwe Boll. And they always keep questioning about the plot. And then he keeps saying, why am I in Star Trek episode 3 or something like that? Star Trek 3. Because one of the actor was there and he was in that movie for God knows why. So he keeps mocking that idea. So that's why I'm always thinking that idea, like, why am I not reading Tokyo Ghoul? But yeah, it started to see more variety. So it does help me out to open up to other series. So in a sense, it did its job. It's an introduction. It's an introduction to anime and manga. Right? And around this time, Attack on Titan was around, but I only followed the anime around this moment. So yeah, you could imagine I still waited for season 2. Where is that season 2?
All right, so Blue Star, you're next, and make it short.
Okay, fair enough. Well, for me, I stopped buying manga volumes, not just for Naruto, but for Bleach as well. Like, granted, I wish I bought like all the Bleach volumes before like the time skip and stuff, at least, because that way I can at least collect my collection now for the ones I wanted to buy. But yeah, I stopped kind of buying series. I stopped reading ongoing one except for like the Big Three and Fairy Tale because I still wanted to finish those. But I was going to buy like Fairy Tale because the fan service would make it uncomfortable in my bookshelves. And One Piece, there's just too many volumes, and my mom would probably lose it if I spent all that money on them. Let's see. I ended up buying Fullmetal Alchemist volumes, and it was like the first series to kind of get me back in because I wanted a series that had a satisfying conclusion. And then One Punch Man got me to ongoing manga and stuff. And then through Lucky Chi and For Life, I ended up learning about, let's see, My Hero Academia and Gintama. And
We're
Tokyo
sorry.
Ghoul. Much to their dismay. Much their dismay. But yeah, I got into manga. I got into a variety of shonen battle mangas, not just the big three. I haven't got into the level of Food Wars or sports stuff like Lucky Chi or For Life yet. But maybe I will if those two will stop being afraid of me being a goddamn cursed child. Who knows? But I've also, let's see, expanded my reading comics and movies and all that stuff. But yeah, honestly, I've moved on for most part.
All right, Lucky Chi.
As for me, getting into newer series hasn't been too tough, to say the least, because I've usually just been like, just anytime a new series comes out, or if I really hear about it, I'll check it out and see how it is, and depending on my liking, I'll definitely stick with it. But if it hits a certain point, like Naruto did, I will sort of start worrying. So I may have like those same feelings where I'm like, oh yeah, this is really good, but I'm also kind of keeping in the back of my mind that this is what happened with Naruto too. So anytime I think about that, it just kind of, it doesn't overshadow it. It just kind of makes me nervous when it's coming into a newer series, just in terms of like potential and story and all that stuff. And I've been lucky to find great series after Naruto, such as, like Dead Man Wonderland, Tokyo Ghoul, Assassination Classroom. What's another one that's right now? Pandora Hearts. Like Hero's new series right now, which it's not saying much, but Eden Zero right now is actually doing pretty well also. And honestly, like, I could go into a lot more greater detail, but that's honestly when it comes to me getting in the newer series. It's just seeing, more or less word of mouth on mine. So kind of similar to Steve, but also just kind of me keeping an eye on like what exactly is coming out and what exactly is being said about it. Mm-hmm. That's really good. Other than that, that is pretty much all I have to say. For Life, Blue Star Steve, it was really great having you guys on board again. And I know we don't have chat, and we do wish her, the best of luck in terms of getting better. And we do miss her. So
yeah. Let's see. Who knows? Maybe I could arrange something with her later and stuff. Who knows? Let's see. But anyway,
we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
But aside from that, guys, that is pretty much it for now. I'm LuckyG7.
I'm LK, and I'm JH, also known as Steve.
I'm BlueStarSaber. Okay. Oh, we did it at the same time. Sorry, For Life.
That's all right. Sparda3g, or also known as For Life.
BlueStarSaber.
And we will catch you guys next time. Peace.